laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Let's go. It's time for Sedano and Kap.
A little sabor, and we're going to just nosh.
It is George Sedano. It is Scott Kaplan. Sedano and Kap is on for your Wednesday afternoon.
I'm going to have to say respectfully, I'm going to disagree.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know.
And yes, my voice is tired from this morning, but not too tired yet. It is a Michelob Ultra Reaction Wednesday. Michelob Ultra 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Playoff special. Scotty Kaplan's here. And sitting in for Sedano as the boys are together in San Diego, the one and only Clinton Yates, the big CY. Clinton joined corporate Greg and I this morning and said this.
The Padres are a better baseball team right now.
Well, we will find out. Just what will happen Game 4 tonight, 6:08 p.m. We'll walk you up to first pitch, and then Marcus Grant and Beto Duran have you covered with live reaction until 8 o'clock in the YouTube chat. Let us be your second screen tonight. That's coming up right now, though. Let's hear the reaction of one Scott Kaplan.
A Jerusalem cherry. He likes to lay the wood.
Yeah.
You say Kikuchi.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year. Ha-ha!
Christopher can go to hell.
Oh, nothing worse than the horse.
Nah, man, black don't crack.
Benjamin Pratt is like, how do you say his name? Asminger? Asminger.
Hey, these Hard Knocks guys are all over me right now. It's like I'm in back in Dayton.
You are a bit killer.
Because you got to talk about sperm.
I mean, look at me. I'm a hot piece of ass. I mean, look at him.
Scott Kaplan, Clinton Yates, Sedano and Kap. Your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Yeah. Bing, da, da, bum. We're coming live, y'all. Bing, da, da, bum. From the Woodgreen Bar, y'all. Da, da, bum. There's TVs everywhere. Bing, ba, da, bum. These guys are looking weird. Doom, da, bum. But now they're looking nice. Doom, da. Little Kappy's here. Bing, ba, da, bum. What's up, Scott?
Clinton Yates, the big CY. We are live in downtown San Diego, and we are at the Gas Lamp Tavern, and we're getting ready for tonight's Game 4 between the Padres and the Dodgers, where last night San Diego held on to win and now has a 2-1 lead. Win tonight, Dodgers go home. Dodgers win, we go back to L.A. on Friday.
Don't bury the lead, Scott. We got to start with the important factor of the day. We are on the air because one Scott Kaplan, broadcaster extraordinaire, put together this little setup on his own, by his lonesome. No engineer, full guerrilla radio style.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning because we had a plan.
Yeah.
The plan had some contingency measures, but we decided a little late contingencies were out. Burn the boats. We got to figure this out. And by we, I mean you. How did this start? And we're here now.
All right, let me just say this. I'm not a real man.
I'm here.
Okay? I have no skills. I can't use my hands. I have no mechanical / engineering / electric. I got no skills per se, right? But I got some equipment, you know? And this piece right here, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, I have this piece of equipment called a Comrex.
Yes.
And what it does is it allows me to broadcast and sound like we're in studio so long as we have this Ethernet cable so that we can hardline in. So all I did is I took that, I packaged it up, I brought it from my house. I took 2 microphones. I took 2 computers. One is over there so that we can be on YouTube. One's over here so I can see my stuff, what's going on. So that's it. I mean,
Don't try to downplay it now.
Well,
this was a feat of strength.
Well,
technological strength, sir.
When you got here, I was sweating like I just ran a marathon.
Scrambling.
Because I didn't know if A, we would be able to actually pull this off, and then B, could I actually really set it all up. Let me tell you this. I brought a suitcase that looks like I'm carrying a dead body in it, okay? It's that big.
How do you know what a suitcase that has a dead body in it looks like?
I mean, I'm just imagining. That's all. I'm just imagining what I think it would look like. This suitcase is so big that when you take it to
How big is it?
It's so big that when you take it to the airport, it's the kind of suitcase that weighs 60 pounds, and they tell you can only have 50 pounds, and you got to start taking crap out of it.
Mop an arm off.
That's how big it is.
No, right. I'm joking. I'm being funny, but Scotty's being so real here. The setup was dicey. Not going to lie. but he came through. Again, the broadcast veteran, and I'm not acting like I did not understand what was going on. I just had something else to do. Had I known, perhaps two men would have made it easier. But I was doing other things, and we got here now. So we've got our bobbleheads in front of us. We've got the crowd that's coming in. Mind you, we're going right up until first pitch, Scott, which means that this bad boy is going to fill up lovely while we're here.
Yeah, so we're right in the middle of the Gaslamp Quarter in downtown San Diego. And I'm going to say this. If you're a Dodger fan and you're saying, where am I going to pregame, they're doing like all – just because we said to them, hey, can we use the bar to do a show? And
Sure.
they're like, yeah, we'd love to. And they're like, well, what should we do? They're like, how about if we do happy hour from 3 to 6? So they've got like $2 off beers, $2 off cocktails, $2 off wine, $2 off appetizers. So they've said, okay, if you guys want to do it here, we might as well throw a party. And so right now at 3:24 p.m., it is primarily people in brown and yellow.
Yes.
It is primarily Padre fans.
It is pretty much all Padres fans at this point, and we can get into this a little bit later, but I didn't see a lot of Dodger fans down here last night, Scotty.
Well, that's
not a lot.
I mean, look, on one hand, the Padres refuse to sell to Dodger fans.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, and on the other hand, I've been looking, Clinton, at several different websites to try and see what tickets will cost.
So the FOMO is real for you.
The FOMO is real.
Another behind-the-curtain element about yesterday. I was going to cover the game. Rachel was almost involved there for a little bit, but I thought you both were going to end up coming. That's what I thought was going to happen, Scott.
So she was planning on going, and I hate to give out her like medical history, but she's got this ear infection that's bothering the hell out of her.
I didn't need to know that.
Okay, well, I just wanted you to know. And then this way, she's like, I don't know, it's going to be loud. So she decides to bounce. And once she said she wasn't going, I'm like, okay, good, then I'll stay at home and I'll watch with her. And it was a good thing I did last night, watch this all on TV, because I don't know how it is for you, Clinton, but like when I go to a game, I don't see a lot of the game.
Sure.
So I watched it all on TV last night, and I got to see it all play out. And the way the Padres took that big 6-1 lead, and by the way, Mookie Betts finally gets off the schneid, right, by hitting that home run on a ball that, honestly, I hate to say it like this, I think Jurickson Profar should have caught the ball.
Bro, it looked exactly like the previous play where Profar did catch the ball in left field at Dodger Stadium that set off all this nonsense that we're talking about. That was one of the most bizarre 2-for-1s, if you will, that I've ever seen in my life in the play that literally mimicked itself in a different ballpark with a different result to the point that Mookie ran off the field.
Yeah.
He thought he got caught yet again.
That was wild, by the way, that Mookie Betts actually was rounding second, didn't know if Profar had the ball, and started to head towards the dugout thinking he got robbed again. But he didn't. The weirdest part of the whole night, though, is what happens when the Padres start putting runners on base, and the play that everybody's talking about, and everybody has a different opinion about the play, and it really just comes down to this. If you're a Dodger fan, you think that Manny Machado ran outside the baseline, did something against the rules, should have been called out, and you feel like the Dodgers kind of got stolen. You know, they didn't. And if you're a Padre fan, you're like, what's wrong with that? That was kind of a smart play.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can get into this big time later in the show, and I'm going to save it because these questions were asked in the press conference. Because, see, I'm a baseball reporter. I go to games, I go to press conferences, I talk to players, and I talk to managers about what happened in the game. That's how I know what goes on beyond just the average Joe Blow from Kokomo. And we will get into what Mike Schultz said about that, and what Dave said about that, which was very interesting because it was differing. If we get the sound on that later, but I fall on the side of smart play, borderline illegal play. If you don't know the rules, it works, and that's what matters.
See, I've now figured out that I don't know the rules because I thought that you could not do what Manny Machado did.
You would be wrong.
And if you looked at the play, as soon as the ball goes to Freddie Freeman and Manny starts running towards second, he looks over his left shoulder to see where Freddie Freeman is, and as he looks over his shoulder, he starts to pull his way into the grass out of what you would consider to be the baseline. But I got to tell you, I've listened to every former player turned analyst on TV, and everybody says it's a completely legal play.
100% correct. Once again, we'll get into this later. I'll explain it to you from a foot-to-foot standpoint. The infield, specifically, what happened around second base between that play and what happened with Rojas. Those were the most two important plays of this game. They changed the game entirely. Middle infield, again, the most important positions on the field, if you ask me. Well, a former middle infielder. I'm just saying.
Well, here's the deal. We are going right up until game time.
Yeah.
And this town's going crazy. And Dodger fans, I'm wondering how many people are coming down. Because here's what I've learned just recently. You can get a ticket if you want a ticket. The question is, do you really want to pay for the tickets?
How bad?
Because they're expensive as hell. They really are. And that place was going nuts last night.
It really was. The vibe in there, Kappy, was as good of a vibe as I've seen in any playoff environment in a long time, and I get to a lot of them. I don't just say that lightly. It was about as fever pitch as you could expect, and even after that, it was fever pitch as well.
Well, I think we got a lot of people from the Circle of Trust that are starting to make their way down here. I'm getting a lot of messages from people saying, we're coming, we're on our way.
Nice.
So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Clinton Yates, the Big CY, is in for Sedano. You can check the show on YouTube, and you can see where we are and what we're doing. And, of course, we want you to listen on the ESPN LA app, and it's the only thing people are talking about. I mean, for me as a football meathead, to not be thinking about Week 6 of the NFL, to not be breaking down how teams are changing quarterbacks like the Raiders and the Patriots, to not be thinking about number 4 Penn State coming in to take on USC.
Big game.
It's very hard to believe that we are all Dodgers-Padres. Stick around. The Big CY is in the house. We're in downtown San Diego. This is Sedano and Kap on 710 ESPN.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Hey, guys, it's Kappy here, and I want to talk about my friend Avner Gatt, a public adjuster. Now, many of you guys have asked me, why Avner Gatt? What makes his team so unique at handling insurance claims? So let me tell you something. I've been working with Avner and his team for a while. I can tell you this. Avner Gatt has a dynamic team that's highly effective and successful because these folks come from a very diverse background in the insurance industry. For example, some of them used to work for insurance companies before they joined Avner's team. Yes, they actually chose to switch sides when they realized the effectiveness of Avner's team's work. Some of them used to be in the restoration business, rebuilding homes after disasters. Some of them used to be in the contents handling business, moving homeowners' belongings to a safe place for restoration and storage. Some of them were experts in hazardous materials handling, like asbestos and lead testing. That was their daily work. And some of them were members of law firms handling bad faith claims and general business disputes. You see, diversification is the name of the game. When you are represented by Avner Gatt's team, you have the entire team's experience and know-how by your side. No one, and I mean no one, messes with Avner Gatt and his team. So call Avner Gatt right now, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256. That's AvnerGatt.com, AVNERGAT, AvnerGatt.com. When you call him directly, Avner Gatt and his family, they take the calls themselves. Avner Gatt says, hello.
Enter for a chance to win the ultimate winery experience at Francis Ford Coppola Winery. With airfare for two, a two-night hotel stay, and a winery tour. Enter at ESPNLA.com. Must be 21 and a California resident. Prize awarded as a gift card. Francis Ford Coppola Winery, Geyserville, Sonoma County, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Walks around like a little puppy dog.
On 710 ESPN.
Yeah, it's Sedano and Kap. The big CY is in today.
What up, kiddos?
For Sedano. And we are live from downtown San Diego.
A lot of folks coming through.
Yep.
We're in DTSD, Gaslamp District. You know what? At some point tonight, remind me, Scotty, to tell you the story of the fact that, well, my sentient life began here because my father lived here from the time that I was 2 to 5 years old.
You're kidding me. I didn't know that.
Not even joking.
Wow.
I'll tell that story later in the day.
I did not know
but
that.
Yes, that is true. So I have a connection in my heart, literally, to California via San Diego.
So people are coming into the bar now, and 2 weeks ago, me and Morales, Rachel, and Stephanie Alexander, who, by the way, from our office, Stephanie Alexander runs the place. Happy birthday, Steffa.
Happy day, Steffa.
We love you, girl. And Dr. Johnny was there. His name is actually Dr. Sonny, but, Morales couldn't remember his name, so he called him Dr. Johnny. Dr. Johnny. These guys were with us at USC 2 weeks ago. Now Fat Tony has just walked into the bar.
Yep.
So the circle of trust is coming together here today with the great friends. It's turning into a whole San Diego, L.A. sort of love fest here today.
You know who else is there?
Tell me.
George Sedano on the phone.
Oh, Sedano's here.
George, what up?
Yo, beautiful.
Hey,
Georgie?
gentlemen, how is it hanging out in enemy territory today?
Well, it's fun because we're right by the ballpark, and there's a vibe on the streets. And, listen, Dodger Stadium is like the greatest in terms of history and, that old school, real baseball park feel. But it's a stadium with a parking lot.
Right.
This downtown is like a ballpark, and you flow out into the streets, and there's bars and restaurants. It's fun. So there's a vibe on the streets. It's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for people who don't actually love baseball all that much. It's just people who want all the frills that come with baseball these days.
Frills? Walkability is a frill now, George?
Yeah. I mean, listen, Yankee Stadium is the cathedral, right? Dodger Stadium is the cathedral. There's nothing around those places. You just got to love baseball, Yates. That's why those places are special.
This is true. What did you think about last night in terms of how the Dodgers managed to keep some level of respectability even in a loss?
Yeah, I was very surprised that they were able to get back in it. I actually thought it showed pretty good intestinal fortitude, as one Mick Foley once said and The Rock once said many years ago, because of the fact that they were able to get back in it. I was then surprised, though, that they couldn't get a runner on base for several innings prior to the ninth inning. But, look, it's funny. This game will forever be known, in my opinion, for the Manny Machado game, okay? And I think there is going to be a hard look going into this offseason. And maybe I'll be wrong about this, Clinton, because you know baseball better than anyone on this show.
Okay.
But I think
what are you talking about?
Because there's no runner's lane interference between first and second and only first from home to first, I feel like that's something the competition committee will have to look at on the other bases. Because what Manny Machado did was not illegal, clearly, but it was, if anything, it's kind of a smart veteran move. But it does seem weird that you can have runners lane interference in one direction from home to first, but not at the other bases. It just seems odd to me.
Okay, George, I was waiting to explain this, but I'll explain it this way. It wasn't just the brilliance of exploiting the rule. It was the strategy played on what we call dirt reads in baseball. When that ball hits, you have to make a decision. Where am I going on second step? Because you're already on first step. So when you refer to Kap, him looking over his left shoulder, that's a different play in terms of establishing the base path than looking over your right one, because it determines where you're going through your natural path. It wasn't just knowing the rule. It was how he played it, George. It was brilliant.
He exploited it.
On Moy level, yeah. Exploitation is a one word, but to me, that was also reasonable strategy through natural reaction. That's the way you're going if the ball is behind you. If it's in front of you, you don't get that established. That's why it was smart, is because it was an instinctive play based on a smart player and not just the other way around. To me, that's what I saw.
And not only that, again, I know people were clamoring for interference, but as you alluded to, it's not. We've already discussed it. The other thing, the only other way there can be interference is quote-unquote intentional interference,
yes,
where, you throw your hands up or you do something with your body movement that's fairly obvious. Because, again, the call is subjective to some level. And then that would be intentional interference in that spot. But he was smart enough to not do that either, other than just a quick look over his left shoulder.
Derek Jeter said after the game on the Fox postgame show, it reminded him of when he was a little kid, and I can remember also being a little kid, and there was a game, I want to say it was Dodgers-Yankees, I want to say it was a World Series, where Reggie Jackson is on first base, but he's leading off first base, and the ball gets thrown to first, and Reggie Jackson, puts his hip into the ball. Does anybody remember this play? I mean, I should probably YouTube it and look it up.
I've seen the highlight a bunch of times over the years, sure.
And so, it wasn't illegal. It was just veteran smart, you know?
And that's what I'm saying. But there was also a level, George, to this that was a reacts play. I think we're overthinking it when it comes to the idea that, he had this idea in his mind. I mean, that's the smart play.
It's the reaction. Yeah.
So, anyway, I love
that. So here's the thing, though. You got to give the Dodgers a lot of credit, at least I do, because when you get down 6-1, and when Tatis hit that home run last night, the building exploded. The videos from the third base side, when Tatis hits the ball and you can see the first base, everybody in the ballpark stand up and you could hear the roar. I mean, you might think that the Dodgers at that point would be like, oh, dude, it's just not going to be our night. And even Dave Roberts was interviewed by Ken Rosenthal not long after, and he seemed very calm. But Teoscar Hernandez has had such an amazing year. And a little under the radar because Ohtani is so overwhelming.
Home run derby champion, Uncle Scar.
But the grand slam that he hit in that game last night brings the Dodgers back and makes everybody who was standing up going crazy during the Tatis home run bite off their fingernails the rest of the game. That's the one thing about why tonight, George, is not like some automatic. The Dodgers can explode offensively at any time, especially when you have a pitcher, Dylan Cease tonight, who didn't pitch well in Game 1 and who's going on very short rest.
Yeah, for sure. And the Dodgers are going basically bullpen game, right, with Brazier. Which, honestly, the way that they're starting – and I'll give Walker Buehler some credit because he pitched much better, obviously, after that rough stretch early in the game. And I think that, Dave talked about it in the live interview with Ken Rosenthal about how we have to see how he bounced back here and make that decision. And then the Dodgers bounced back, and it was an easy decision to keep him in the game at that point. But I do think that the Dodgers bullpen is their strength on their pitching staff. So I kind of like this particular approach, as strange as it may be to some traditional baseball fans. I know that the more modern fan understands that there's going to be these bullpen games even in the playoffs. But I actually like it. I think they have a better chance to limit the Padres' potent lineup with their strength of their pitching staff, which is their bullpen.
George, what do you think about Senor Hernandez getting into the lineup tonight? He's playing center field. I think he's batting 8th, if I have that right. A lot of people thought he should have been there earlier. He's back tonight for the critical game.
And they've got him hitting 9th, by the way.
9th, excuse me.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about a guy with big-time experience in these games for this team. So, you got to lean on those kind of guys when you're down and you're on the road, right? I think that that's what he's here for. Whether he should have been there earlier or not, I don't know if I buy that necessarily. Okay. I think that he's a situational player. Certainly at this stage of his career, he has been for the most part of his career, I think. He just has had more opportunity with this particular team than he might have had with others had he been on other teams because they trusted him in a way that other teams didn't trust him. But at this stage, he's certainly a situational player, but I think this is the perfect situation for him.
Did you know there's a wine cellar at Petco Park?
I'm not surprised. It's very much a wine and cheese kind of crowd. So,
well, I mean, listen, I must admit that for years, the Padres really did not promote winning. They promoted entertainment.
There's like barrels.
So
and
that's
all
why,
sorts of
yeah. So
bottles on the wall. It's great.
Right. It's like, hey, we've got all the craft beers from the San Diego breweries.
That's cool.
We've got all the tequila brands. We've got every restaurant that you would know around town in our ballpark. Come have a great time. And then people would go, but what about winning? And they go, oh, forget winning. Who cares? Who cares? We don't have a payroll. We can't keep up. So all we want you to do is come down here and have fun. Nobody cared about winning. But the vibe in this town in particular, it is different now.
Wine cellar was packed, George, last night. I walked by several times.
Yeah, I bet. And, yeah, to your point, Kappy, I mean, they have that cool thing in left field for the kids, right? Like, I get it. Like, it was definitely all about that stuff. And I guess it's more about baseball more recently. But, yeah, ultimately, they have become a better team. And I know that everyone, including the guys, I was watching those guys yesterday on the Fox set, seem to believe that the Padres are ready to stop being little brother, at least this season. You know what I mean? Like, they're done. They're finally ready to beat Big Brother, kind of like, you beat Big Brother in the driveway playing hoops or something.
Well, I almost feel like, tell me if you guys got this vibe, like Jeter and Poppy and A-Rod, I almost feel like they're rooting for the Padres. Like as if
I didn't see the telecast. I was there, so I don't know.
I didn't get that sense.
Oh,
I just think that
do.
You could hear it real quick. I think that they look at it as they see the momentum and emotion that they're playing with, and the Dodgers are a wounded animal. So I think they just kind of see it like that. I don't know if they're openly rooting for them.
No, here's what I mean.
The way you would describe it.
The way I describe it would be like this. Those guys know how hard it is for these smaller markets, smaller payroll type clubs. And listen, I got it. The Padres
used to play for the Twins before he played for the Red Sox.
Right. The Padres definitely have, increased their payroll to now they're one of the tops, but they had to slice $90 million off to get to where they could actually afford to pay these guys this year. I think those guys have an appreciation for the smaller market team battling against the bigger market team. Because I think a lot of them all had – I mean, listen, A-Rod was with Seattle, and then he was with Texas, and then he went to the big bad Yankees. Right. So I just think that – and I also think this. I think that they have they love this Machado, Tatis, Profar, very Caribbean-ish style of ball.
The vibes are high.
Yes, So I kind of sense from those guys that they're sort of rooting for the big.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to like the Padres in a world in which the Dodgers don't exist, and I think that's what is really coming down to. Of course, L.A.,
no.
San Diego,
absolutely not.
Different matter.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, zero chance that is the case. If that happens, it is root against. If the Padres somehow win this series, it is absolutely root against them at every turn, every step of the way.
I knew that would work. That's why I brought it up.
I know it's kind of funny too, because like if UCLA and USC were playing and the winner were going to go on, but I'm a USC fan, I'd still want to be like supportive of the conference. You know what I mean?
Oh, is that what you do?
I would. But then again, my fandom is fair weather, and everybody kind of knows it.
It's nice out here, George. We got a couple beers out here, sitting on the deck. A couple folks are here. It's fantastic.
It's a beautiful afternoon. I can tell you that right now. George,
where
are you?
It's a beautiful town and a beautiful part of town. There's no question about that. No one's denying that part of it.
Georgie, where are you and what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I'm wrapping up a workout here at the hotel gym. I got to jump in the shower and get dressed and head over to the arena shortly. I've got Warriors Kings tonight in Sacramento, in Sacktown, and the Bay Area and back down eventually. I will be doing a game tonight with Dave Pasch and the Hall of Famer Doris Burke.
Nice. Hey, I want you.
Shouts to her.
I want you to do one thing though. I want you to go onto YouTube and I want you to see the setup that we've got here. Clinton Yates is
already. It's on Twitter. I saw it.
Clinton Yates is so impressed. In fact, so am I.
Hold on. Hold on. George, Scott did the daggone thing today. Full one-man band engineered it and got us on the air in a tight spot with a clock on him to the point that we had gone past the point of no return and still nailed it and still got on the air. I'm legitimately impressed, George, at how this got pulled off.
Let me tell you something about one Scott. What is your middle name, Sack? What is
Arthur.
It?
Arthur.
It's not Arthur, is it?
No, but I like Arthur.
Arturo.
Yeah.
Arturo.
Oh, okay. Scott Arturo Kaplan. Yes, he's a very resourceful human being. I don't think there's any question about that. I think that if there's any way you could describe him pleasantly, it would be resourceful. And this is not the first time he's plugged into a dartboard, I would say.
Exactly.
I do like the dartboard broadcast. I really do. I love the guerrilla marketing of it all. George, have a great broadcast tonight. And tomorrow, who knows what we'll be talking about? We'll be talking about Game 5 or we'll be talking about Dave Roberts being fired?
Well, we're up tomorrow, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
One LeBron saying, why are we playing in Milwaukee? Which, by the way, I kind of agree with him. What are you doing playing in Milwaukee?
Right, you got to travel like that during the preseason?
No direct flights from L.A. to Milwaukee. That's what we know.
There are none. Trust me, I can tell you that because I've done it. I've had to connect through Detroit or Minneapolis or Chicago many a time.
All right, George, go have a great broadcast, and I'll rephrase it. What will we be talking about on Friday? Dave Roberts being fired or the game Friday night?
Game 5, baby. That's what we're talking about. If there's a Game 5, we may need to do the morning show.
Oh, I love the idea of doing the morning show on Friday. I love that idea.
So we'll discuss. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Sounds good. Have a good game, sir.
All right, George. Have
See you
fun.
guys.
All right. There's George Sedano stopping by. The Big CY is in for Sedano, and we are in downtown San Diego, and we're getting ready to get done with this broadcast and go to Petco Park to see what does happen tonight between the Dodgers and the Padres. Before we move on, I want to tell everybody, look, if you right now would like to sell your house, and look, everybody's got a different reason for wanting to sell. Some people are like, yo, it's time for me to move. I need a change. Some people are like, you know what, the kids are all out of the house. It's time to downsize. Some people have perhaps inherited a home from their parents, and they don't want to pay the property taxes. They don't want to live in it. They got to get rid of that house. Whatever your reason is for selling, Seller's Advantage has got a custom solution for your needs. But more important than a custom solution, in my opinion, is this. They're going to look at all the comps in your neighborhood. They're going to know exactly what your house should be listed at. And then what they're going to do is they're going to make you a competitive cash offer, an offer that they pay you right away. You don't have to do any repairs. You don't have to clean the carpet. You don't have to paint the walls. You don't have to stage the house, nothing. And you can close in days. So now they've eliminated the complicated closing process. They've eliminated the possibility of contracts falling through. And they've got all these reviews that would tell you that they've made so many sellers happy for so long. So whether it's Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Google, etc., check out their reviews. A no-obligation offer. That's it, no obligation. You have nothing to lose. Here's the phone number, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747. And their website is sellersadvantage.com. DRE number 01961658 for Seller's Advantage.
At Hyundai, we make a big deal about the little things, like the little fact that 9 Hyundai vehicles have earned IIHS top safety picks this year, and offering a little thing called America's Best Warranty, because delivering safety and quality, pretty big deal. Visit your nearest Hyundai.
Hey football fans, there is nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. But Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with the chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. Head over to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket Sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Please celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
Hey, it's Mace. There's a lot on the line in this election, from protecting the Social Security you've earned to supporting family caregivers. And you have the power to make the candidates listen, because voters 50 and over decide elections. That's why AARP California has created an election guide with the most up-to-date information about when, where, and how to vote. Get trusted election information at aarp.org/CA votes. That's aarp.org/CA votes. Paid for by AARP.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield, and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
How is that related?
On 710 ESPN.
All right, we're getting ready for Dodgers-Padres Game 4 of this National League Divisional Series. The Big CY, Clinton Yates,
What up? How we doing, man?
We're doing great. Is in the house, and we have moved the entire broadcast to follow this series. We could have been in downtown LA today, but we came to downtown San Diego. We're right outside Petco Park. We're at a bar called the Gaslamp Tavern. Who knew this broadcast would work? We plugged into their dartboard, and here we are.
You knew. At like 2:15 today, you had to know.
Yeah, well,
that's you were in big trouble.
Well, at 1:45, it wasn't exactly working. And by 2:15, we finally figured out how to make it happen.
Let me tell you something, though. To me, and I don't want you all in L.A. to get all upset and think that everything is all concerned about allegiances to this, that, and the third. Nobody cares about that. I'm going to tell you all a story about San Diego that matters to me, and it's very important. When I was a young man, before my parents got divorced, and this might have led to something, and Pop, I'm not telling stories out of school. We all know this. My dad lived in San Diego from the time that I was 2 years old to about 5 years old.
Now, your dad, just by the way, Clinton, he is the original president of the Handsome Man's community.
A member of the Handsome Man community.
And he wasn't like a regional president. He was like a national president.
Global.
Okay, global.
Global ambassador for the Handsome Man community.
Okay.
Trust me, ask different government organizations, and I'm not even joking about that. You can Google it on your own, kiddos. But anyway, he lived here when I was a young man, Scott. And my first real, actual memories of life are from San Diego, California. And what he used to do was he would record conversations that we had on his whatever microphone tape recorder jobber was.
Oh, yeah.
Not just tape recorder. There was a mic.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the mic.
Like a cassette
sort of
recorder.
A detachable deal.
And it had like the red button was the record button. Yes. You have to push record and play.
He would record us talking, and he would send the tapes to my mother and his father, my grandparents. And look, this was a memory that existed in my life for very, very long. My first zoo that I ever went to here. First Costco, Sam Clubs, whatever. I'll never forget. It is burned in my brain when I looked up and I saw a box of goldfish that was the size of my head. And I was like, oh, my God, what is California? They have these things. I was not familiar with bulk groceries at the time. He recorded all of these things. He put them on tapes. He sent them to his parents and my mother. And 3 years ago, he unearthed these tapes and gave them to me for Christmas.
Wow,
Scott.
wow.
And it was a thing where just emotionally, I thought these were long gone. There's no world, Cap, in which I thought these actually existed. He had them. He presented them to me. And last year, right around Christmas time, he came to visit in Los Angeles, and guess what we did? We drove down here to see all his old friends, and I said, today's the day I buy a tape player. And I bought a tape player, made sure it was activated and working, it didn't chew up the tape, and I played that tape with my dad from 40 years earlier in San Diego and listened to my 3-year-old voice. I can send these guys the whatever. I posted the audio, but every time I come back to San Diego, I think about the time that basically this is the first time I ever remember being alive.
Yeah.
So beyond Dodgers, beyond Padres, any of that, that's why I have love for this place because, it was a part of my life and a part of my family for a long
That's
time.
a cool story, man. That's a really cool story.
Real stuff.
So here we are. We're down. We moved the show today.
Yes, we did.
And you know what's really amazing, Clinton, is that we'll get back to the game, but surprisingly, there are a ton of 710 listeners in San Diego.
In the building.
Yes. It's crazy.
Well, these are your people, Scott.
Right.
They follow you everywhere.
Well, but it is crazy that, like, 710, for me, having lived in San Diego, I always listened to 710.
Right.
I always loved this radio station. I've said it on the air a million times. I always wanted to work at this radio station. And what blows my mind is when I go places in San Diego, people will come up to me and they'll be like, hey, man, I'm in the circle of trust. Good to meet you, you know? Or
Absolutely.
they talk about something that me and Sedano have been talking about. There are a lot of listeners in San Diego of 710. So here's what I'd like to say. If you're a Dodger fan,
get here.
Yeah, and you're cruising down, we are at the Gaslamp Tavern. We just walked in, brought a couple of pieces of equipment, plugged into their router, and we're on the radio. So if you're a Dodger fan, you should come by. And all these Padre fans who happen to be here because they're the locals, They want you to come by. They're all about the fun and the love of this rivalry.
And I got to say, on top of that, I don't see a whole lot of Dodger fans. I didn't see a whole lot of Dodger fans last night. And I normally do. When I go to other places to cover ball games, typically the blue regiment is very populous, very robust. Not the case last night here, and that's, a function of different things that we can discuss later. But bottom line is the representation is not what I thought it would be from a lot of Dodger fans. I'm serious about that.
There are reasons, by the way. There are lots of reasons.
Fine.
There are reasons why there aren't as many Dodger fans at Petco Park in the postseason like there are during the regular season. We'll get into that and so much more. Clinton Yates is in for Sedano. I want to remind everybody about where I literally live, which is right across the street from LA Live. It's the East Central Hotel. Listen, we're getting ready to tip off the basketball season in about 2 weeks. We're getting ready to drop the puck on hockey season, and that's coming up in about 2 weeks. If you want to come into downtown LA for a game, or you're coming in for a museum or a show, or you just want to do a staycation, and you're like, you know what, we don't really go to downtown LA that often. We're going to go down, catch a game, stay. You should be staying at the East Central Hotel. Why? The biggest hotel rooms in all of downtown LA. That's number one. Number two, the softest towels you've ever felt in any hotel. The Nixo Lounge, where you can get a nice cocktail, or I eat breakfast there every Monday and Tuesday morning. The brand new gym. But more than anything, it's the location. It's downtown LA. It's beautiful rooms. It's contemporary furnishings. But again, I can keep hyping up everything about the East Central Hotel, but it's the biggest rooms in the city. And when you want to spread out and get comfy, you can do it at the East Central Hotel. Make your reservation online, eastcentralhotel.com. That's eastcentralhotel.com. East Central Hotel in downtown LA, entertainment's official address.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
You were a problem in high school, weren't you?
We were
like
just
low
jocks.
grade problem, but you were constantly having to serve a penalty.
We were
of some
jocks.
kind.
Is it John Bender from the Breakfast
Yes.
Club?
So you were a cross of Emilio Estevez and John Bender.
Yes, we were cutting through to get through so the principal wouldn't catch us.
It's Trav and D-Far.
Back tomorrow morning after Greeny on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
Welcome to Mere Audio Video, the home of smart living excellence. With over 40 years of unrivaled expertise, Mere Audio Video is your gateway to a truly connected lifestyle. Partnering with elite brands like Crestron, Control4, Lutron, and introducing home automation from Nice. Mere's team of experts brings innovation to your doorstep. From the Academy Awards to our local sports teams to successful Cal businesses, Mere has curated the experiences that redefine smart living. Call 310-234-4010 or check out MereAudioVideo.com.
Hey kids, Uncle Artie here from Perennial Law, here to tell you about a newer sponsorship deal with Matt Barnes, who has deep LA roots, former Bruin and pro basketball player for both LA teams.
If you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Perennial Law. And there's never any upfront fees. They collect when you collect. And for the record, their win-loss record puts them in the top of the standings. That's 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a good karma brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is being brought to us by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. The Big CY is in for Sedano.
What up, kiddos?
Chris Rose, who everybody knows from MLB Network. I happen to love him on the NFL Network, and people love him on John Boy Media. Chris Rose is going to talk about the Padres and the Dodgers coming up in just a minute. But first, here she is. It's baseball season, and here's Lindsay Baseball.
Thanks, Kappy. I'll make this quick since I got to call Chris Rose. But what you need to know is that LeBron tweeted about his displeasure for having to fly all the way out to Minnesota just for one preseason game today. And I think it's really funny because apparently the Lakers are most likely the people who scheduled said game. But they obviously didn't check with the King. He's not happy about it.
Did I miss something? Can he just not go?
He said, "Can someone please explain to me why we're getting on a plane and heading to Milwaukee for one preseason game?" Exclamation question mark. Exclamation question mark. I don't know. I mean, I guess he feels like he has to go.
What's he got to do, chaperone Bronny? I mean, what are we doing here? You don't want to go to a preseason game. You're LeBron, Raymond James. Don't go.
But can I ask a question? Sure. When they played Phoenix, did they have to go to Phoenix?
That's a quick little jaunt, though. That's
that's
a
quick.
snowbird
All right, but if they have to go to Vegas,
I'm sure
he wants to go to Vegas.
That either, yeah.
Right, he wants to go to Vegas. Okay. He just don't want to go up. He don't want to go there.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do anything he wants ever.
Right.
It's amazing.
I don't know why LeBron is talking about owning a team eventually. He should be talking about being the commissioner. Run the freaking league, bro.
Yeah, but that requires a certain level of responsibility and just time that, it takes. Like, I understand why, if you're LeBron, you see your legacy more as being one of the pillars than you do a steward, if that makes sense.
I hear you. Look.
I get it.
To me, I'm just saying this.
It feels like he's so beyond being a player, right. And that's like the strangest thing because he's actively on the roster and arguably the best player on the team.
Right.
But he feels like he is an emeritus NBA human already, and he's still very much one of the, maybe top 25 players in the league if you're really worried about production and numbers.
Well, Chris Rose is going to join us here in a matter of seconds. That is what you need to know, brought to us by Morago Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Now, I'm looking at our live YouTube chat.
Oh, here we go.
And is there ever anybody who has anything constructive to say, ever? Like, here's a guy, Cesar Villalobos. Morales is to blame for allowing this broadcast over the LA airwaves. Get these Madre fans off our airwaves. Are you a Madres fan?
No. I don't root for any baseball teams. I root for stories, buddy. I got bills to pay. Come on now. That's what I'm here for. You all know that. You see it in the bio. What's the first word that is not a tag? Storyteller. That's what it is.
Well, Chris Rose is getting ready to join us. Now, Chris Rose may or may not know this. Clinton, you and Chris Rose, I do believe, are alums of the same school.
This is correct. I went to Miami of Ohio. I was there when Benjamin Todd Roethlisberger took that team to number 10 in the nation. They lost one game that year to Iowa, and they went to the Independence Bowl, GMSC Bowl, I think it's known as now. Great year. Launched my career. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Excellent. Although I try not to bring up his name very often. Not a big fan, but yeah.
Where did you live on campus when you lived on campus?
Let's see. I transferred in my sophomore year. I lived in Hahn Hall, and then Flower, and then off campus.
Flower. I've done some damage in Flower. I lived in Hepburn because I transferred in sophomore year.
You did damage.
Well.
You did damage in Flower. Is that right?
We'll leave that there.
Okay. All right. Chris Rose is here.
I wish I could say I did the same, but I was one of those losers that was trying to call every game that I could, so I would try and find a career, and I'm not so sure it paid off. But
give me a break.
I went for it.
Yeah. Chris Rose, who everybody remembers for his many, many years on MLB Network. I personally think he's the best on Sunday night after NFL games when it comes to calling all of the games and doing all of the highlights. But passion for baseball on John Boy Media. Chris, give us what you think about going into tonight's Game 4 for both of these teams. You got one guy who's a starter on short rest who's never pitched on 3 days. And on the Dodgers side, you got a bullpen day. What do you make of this game tonight?
I'd say buckle up. I think it could get a little crazy. Obviously Dave Roberts is, he's got to pull a lot of strings because Mike Schilt always, even though they would have to go on the road for Game 5, he's got the one guy who actually pitched well as a starting pitcher for either side in this series, and that's Yu Darvish. Yeah. So, he doesn't have to keep making the moves. For Dave Roberts, it's trying to figure out how do I get through 9 innings using a full bullpen game, which guy can be what we call a bulk guy who can give you 3 or 4 innings, in a bullpen game, because you just can't have a guy pitch to 3 batters and then get out. The math's just not going to work here. But the Dodgers got to figure out any way to get back home. And it's an uphill climb. I mean, I think they're facing, if you were to have ranked the teams 1 through 12 heading into the playoffs, I would have had the Padres 1. I just thought that they were the most complete team. It doesn't mean the Dodgers can't come back and win 2 against them. It just means that I think that they were playing better baseball than the teams they're playing right now.
Chris, let me ask you about this. I was at the presser last night, and I asked Schultz what he thought of the crowd factor moving from L.A. to San Diego and how much that was a real part of the game. And he said, yeah, he genuinely felt that his team kind of fed off that. You talk to managers and players and what you do all the time. From your vantage point, do you think that there is an element of, I don't want to say home field advantage, but based on what happened to leave the series at Dodger Stadium and coming to Petco Park has had an impact on the proceeding?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that is one of the true home field advantages in this sport. I mean, that place is rocking. I don't know if it's because that is the only show in town for the most part. I mean, there's big college programs and things of that nature, but when we're talking about true pro teams that people consistently care about year-round, that is far and away number one. And it can be a little intimidating. The light show, the energy that the Padres bring in the other dugout, whether you like it or don't like it, they play with an edge. They celebrate a little bit different than some clubs, and I think that can be a part of it. With all that being said, Teoscar kind of quieted things down with a grand slam and got them back in the game. I was surprised that once it got to 6-5, there wasn't a single run scored by either team after that. That shocked the you-know-what out of me.
Chris Rose is on with Sedano and Kap. Clinton Yates is in for Sedano, and we are broadcasting today right outside Petco Park, and we are down here in the Gas Lamp District getting ready for Padres-Dodgers. Chris, what do you think Freddie Freeman will be tonight?
Probably what he's been, which is, his ability to still make contact is really amazing.
Remarkable.
It really is. But can he drive the ball? That's at the same time, it would be hard to look Freddie in the eyes and say, hey, this is a do-or-die game. Sit this one out. That's just not happening. But, they're going to have to get it from other places. I know that TK's numbers are exceptional against Dylan Cease. It's why they put him in the cleanup spot. Obviously, he might only face him once or twice, and that could be it. And then he's facing other really tough matchup right-handers later in the game, which isn't ideal for him. Or they might have to make a move to the bench. So there's a lot of moving parts here. At the end of the day, the Dodgers' big three, who at times in this series have offered some decent passes at the baseball. Mookie Betts has obviously come close to hitting home runs in consecutive games. Shohei just missed one last night. They're going to have to erupt here and do something big.
Yeah, tough to ask Freddie to sit. I mean, that guy plays 150 games plus
it's not
a year
happening
every single time. But I do want to ask you this in terms of the Dodgers. They always seem to perhaps in some way or another not be at full strength, whether it's what happened over the course of the season with the staff, whether or not it's a guy like Freddie who we just mentioned getting dinged up. Do you think that there is, I don't want to say some level of an excuse for them not getting as far as they probably should in a lot of seasons, but at this point, this iteration of this team where you think, well, they're not really complete, of course they might drop one to the Padres, or is that just kind of unfair in the larger thing of how this all shakes out with injuries for every team?
This is the sport where it's the hardest for the best team to win it all. It just is. Because over 162 games, you can have a bad week, and we barely notice. If a team goes 1-5 in 6 games in the middle of July, nobody really says much. It just kind of happens. But, boy, when you run into decent teams that get hot, it's a tough way to go. Now, as far as the injuries, I really think that the organization has to take a deep dive into this whole pitching thing. It's, in some cases, they brought in guys who have been a bit injury-prone, or guys have made it to the major leagues and they haven't always been 100% healthy. But I think they have to do the best they can to drill down and see if there's something wrong with that, whether they're doing something in the development of guys or once they get here and they're not taking proper care of them. I don't know. Is it just strictly luck of the draw? I'm not going to go with that either. But it's tough to not go out there with the guys that you imagine would be ready by this time of year.
Hey, Chris, we're talking to Chris Rose here today on Sedano and Kap. Clinton and I were having this conversation yesterday. With Mookie Betts struggling, and yesterday, let's face it, he broke out. He did hit that home run. Profar did have it in his glove.
That was wild.
But he did have another hit. would you consider, if you were Dave Roberts, switching Mookie back to leadoff?
This was my idea, by the way, Chris. I said I would flip-flop him and Mookie just to give it a little change of pace because Mookie's done that before. Hello, franchise leader in leadoff home runs for the team.
Plus, you put somebody on base for Ohtani. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think I would. I mean, it's still a pretty good lineup. And what they score game 1? 7, and then they scored 5 last night.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, they took it on the chin in game 2, where I think they only scored 2. But, you know, this is playoff baseball. You know, the Guardians and the Tigers have scored, 13 total runs between them?
Maybe double digits?
Yeah, in 3 games. So, now those aren't very good offenses. Those are subpar offenses. But my point is that when you are facing, in a lot of cases, elite pitching, and in some cases, as many as 6 or 7 different pitchers in a game, that is not easy stuff. So I just think you stick with what got you there. I mean, you know, Ohtani did pretty well when he was in the leadoff spot this year, too. So that's why I wouldn't do it.
Chris, before you go, let's just play it out for one quick second. Let's say tonight San Diego were to win. And I don't know about everybody else. I'm not super confident in that. I don't really have a great feel for tonight's game. But let's just say San Diego wins. Does Dave Roberts take all the blame? And does he deserve it all?
So I would say this. If Dave Roberts ends up taking the blame, who do you want?
Thank you.
Like, well, that's the only thing. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to be a smartass. I'm just really like, is Joe Madden the answer, right? There are a lot of people that feel like the Cubs might have won the World Series in spite of all of his moves in 2016. Like he was the guy who was kind of like the calming influence. Hey guys, you got a bunch of young players that have kind of grown up together. We can do this together. And then in the 2016 World Series, if you ask Cubs fans, they're like, I can't believe that we won the World Series with Joe making the moves that he did. So, I mean, do you want to ask Jim Leland, who's 80 years old and just went in the Hall of Fame? Tell me who you want to go get that you think will definitively make a difference in a 5-game series? Because I don't know if there's a lot of guys out there.
Skip Schumacher is the name that's on a lot of people's mouths, Chris.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. I like Skip a lot. There's a monumental difference between coaching the zero expectation Miami Marlins and then all of a sudden having that. Now, I get it. I like Skip a lot, too, and I think that he's a good manager, and I would be shocked if he's not a manager next season. Sure, but it's not a guarantee. There is no guarantee here. And if you really think that Dave Roberts is the reason that at the end of the day that they've lost in the divisional round 3 straight years, then I guess that's it. But, you know, at some point it has to fall on players, too.
Chris Rose, before you came on, I'm curious, Lindsay Baseball, did you commiserate with Chris about your Gardos?
We didn't have a lot of time, but we did.
He told me to be hopeful, which I'm not at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the Cleveland way to be hopeful.
Exactly.
No, that's absolutely correct.
As I always explain to people, Cleveland sports fans are 90% scar tissue. So we just are we're trying to make it day by day, but who knows what tomorrow will bring. Hopefully not the end of the season.
All right, there you go.
You know
Chris
what they
Rose.
say? You know what they say for Miami? I don't say this all the time. They say love and honor. That's like the
love and honor
tagline for Miami. See, told you.
That's it. That's what all us preppy kids that went to Miami do.
Bingo, bango.
Chris, great to talk to you, man. Really appreciate your availability, and we look forward to having you back. Thanks.
You got it. Enjoy the game tonight, gang.
All right, you
Thank
too.
you.
Chris Rose from John Boy Media, and I don't know about you, man. I watch on Sunday nights when the NFL night is over, and you turn over to Chris and MJD, and those two guys are, and I say it all the time, and people give me a hard time about it, they're the Chris Berman and Tom Jackson of the generation. They're that good.
What I watch on Sunday night is extremely important to me, and that is one thing as well. Let me tell you a quick story, though. He mentioned Jim Leland. I smoked a cigarette with Jim Leland right outside a hotel right down the street here.
Oh, really?
During the winter meetings many years ago.
Yeah?
It was great. I literally saw Leland outside burning a heater. I said, I'm going to go out there and burn a heater with Leland. I acted like I didn't have a lighter. I totally did. He gave me a lighter, and that's what we did.
Oh, my God. He used to smoke in the dugout.
Yeah.
Jim Leyland.
Awesome guy.
Oh, my
He
God.
used to smoke in the manager's office.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
a tiny little visitor's manager's office at Progressive Field. And he would, like, chain smoke in there. And, like, we go in there after the game, and it's like...
God, I love baseball.
All right, we are in downtown San Diego. We're right outside Petco Park. Total guerrilla broadcast. All we did was bring equipment and plug in. Miss Molly from the Circle of Trust just arrived, but I want to tell everybody something really quickly. If you have a major problem at your house, if you've got a flood, if you have a fire, if your house is burglarized, God forbid, right? And now you're going to have a homeowner's insurance claim, you need to talk to Avner Gatt. And in fact, I would tell you that you should probably talk to Avner before you even call your homeowner's insurance so that he can talk you through what's about to happen. Because, listen, a lot of times, I'll give you an example. Avner always gives me advice and says, hey, you know what you should do at your house? Tell me, Avner. He says, go around your house and take pictures. Make sure you take pictures of your TVs, your furniture, if you've got any jewelry, whatever the case may be, take pictures so that if, God forbid, something happens, you can actually prove to the insurance company that you had this nice watch, or you had this really great TV, or you had this nice piece of furniture, whatever the case may be. You should be talking to Avner Gatt. Avner Gatt is an expert, and he specializes in dealing with homeowners insurance companies. You are not an expert. You do not specialize in this. Avner's been at it 20-plus years. He's got an entire team of people behind him. And he's got all the reviews on Google, Yelp, the Better Business Bureau, all of these things that will tell you that Avner is an expert in his field. So listen, I'm going to tell you right now, these insurance companies, they don't mess with Avner Gatt and his team, so you should let Avner handle it and let him get you the money you deserve. Here's his phone number, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256. His website is avnergatt.com, AVNERGET, avnergatt.com. You call, Avner answers the phone. You'll know it's him when you hear those words, hello.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Mr. October? Ha! I'm Mr. Morongo. I hit home runs for good times. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Whether your ace is on the mound or in your hand, it's a win-win watching all of baseball's playoff games at Sideline Sports Bar.
Number 2.
Get a 1.79 quart terracotta pot when you earn 500 points on your rewards card, the 15th.
And the number 1 reason.
Yin Yang Twins, featuring Young Jock, live October 18th.
Morongo, good times.
Enter for a chance to win the ultimate winery experience at Francis Ford Coppola Winery. With airfare for two, a two-night hotel stay, and a winery tour. Enter at ESPNLA.com. Must be 21 and a California resident. Prize awarded as a gift card. Francis Ford Coppola Winery, Geyserville, Sonoma County, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Hey everybody, it's Kappy here. Hey, if you've been thinking about selling your home, the real estate market is changing right now. So before you call an agent, let's get you to call Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage is focused on the seller's needs and will make you a competitive cash offer, and you can close in days. They're the go-to choice for homeowners looking to sell their homes fast. No agents, no commissions. Getting your home ready to list for sale can be expensive and very complicated, and you may not want people walking through your house all day long. Seller's Advantage makes the selling process so easy so that sellers walk away happy. They may even offer you a $10,000 advance to help with all your moving expenses. So get a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-2747, or you can go to sellersadvantage.com. That's sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Coverage of the 2024 MLB playoffs on ESPN LA is driven by your SoCal Hyundai dealers. With next-level tech and safety features, Hyundai cars and SUVs give you the confidence to boldly journey wherever life takes you. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or see your SoCal Hyundai dealer today.
Hey, LA,
Okay, let's talk trash. Food waste, that is. Tossing your food scraps in the regular trash sends them to landfills where they release harmful gases like methane. Fight global warming by simply sorting your food scraps and placing them in your green bin. It's quick, it's easy, it helps protect our planet. Ready to do your part? Visit cleanla.com or call 888-CLEAN-LA for more tips. This message funded by Cal Recycle.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Really? Oh, my B.
Yeah.
My B.
Your B.
On 710 ESPN.
Oh, really? A little Stevie Wonder. Very nice.
The Ohms are blind, I'm told.
Is that right?
No. Stevie ain't blind anyway.
That's what I hear. I hear he's not really blind.
Stevie is legally blind.
He is, but there's a but?
No. Legally blind is blind.
Okay.
Just saying.
Just want to make sure I'm clear.
Have you ever been in the same room with Stevie Wonder?
I have never been in the same room as Stevie Wonder.
I have been in the same room with Stevie Wonder.
Did you throw him a ball and he caught it? Is that what the deal is here?
No, but I whispered his name and he looked at me.
Oh, really?
Yes. That really happened. It was so weird. Anyway, we love Stevie. My sister's favorite artist of all time.
Is there a OTD today related to Stevie? There probably is.
Yes, there is.
Oh, really? What do you got, Young D?
Hold on, I'm trying to find it. There it
Yeah,
is.
I know
Number
you
one.
are.
Hold on.
No, my excuse was I said that because I couldn't find it also.
Number one hit in 1984, Stevie Wonder. I just called to say, I love you.
Okay, nice.
1984.
And in 2024, in the year of the Lord, it's CY and Kappy making radio history from a bar.
Okay, Beto, thank you, sir.
That's what I'm
up?
talking about.
How are you, man?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good, baby. I'm good right here. I'm on my way to the gas lamp hanging out with you guys, man.
That would be great.
Is that right?
I got my Quilvio Veras jersey on. Yeah, ready to go. I got an Edgar Gonzalez jersey
If
on.
you had said Bip Roberts, I would have been like, I'm sending a car.
Bip is too easy, bro. Bip is for the that's easy.
Bip had a 3D like transformational baseball card that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
But Beto, you know, if you look at our YouTube, we've got a Ryan Klesko bobblehead.
Yeah.
Post Atlanta Braves.
Oh, I've been watching. I love this San Diego focus talk, man. This is great. That's why I got my Edgar Gonzalez jersey ready to go.
I am curious to ask a question.
Really
going
down to That's what.
Oh my God. Oh no.
Hey, bro, all day.
These are your boys. These are your boys, Cap.
Kappy created them.
The men's choir.
Yeah.
The men's choir overflow are your boys. All right. That's who they are.
Hey, you guys get the breaking news?
Yeah, okay, let's hit the breaking news sounder, Young D. We go live to the Satellite News Center in downtown Los Angeles, and that is where Beto Duran is standing by. We've got breaking news about tonight's game.
Freddie Freeman has been scratched. Freeman was originally scheduled to bat third and play first base. He's battling injury. He was going to be a game-time decision anyways. They submitted the lineup has been changed, so now it's going to be till Oscar Hernandez batting third, Max Muncy at first, Kike Hernandez goes to third. He was supposed to be in center, and Chris Taylor is your center field, man.
Don't love that at all, Beto. Not going to lie.
You got no choice, bro. You got no choice.
I know, but a post lineup turn-in scratch, I mean, something happened in I.O., and he tweaked something, which does not lend itself well if there are later games, sir.
It's maybe whatever that visit to the doctor, Kappy, it just didn't take.
Well, it was interesting because we were on during crosstalk, super crosstalk, that is, and Mason was like, well, Freddie's going to be healthy tonight. And we're like,
I was like, what?
How do you know? I mean, what was going to happen between last night and today? But, Beto, could you just go through that one more time? Because the thing is this, if you're the Padres, you have caught the Dodgers at the right time, or at least it looks like that right now on paper.
Everybody, okay.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I get what you're saying, but everybody catches them at the right time, which turns out to be the postseason. But
I know,
but
starting pitching, starting pitching being what it is, and now, little did anybody know that Freddie Freeman wouldn't be able to at least go. And then, as Beto will describe it, once Freddie's out and they have to start moving pieces around the board, this is pretty significant stuff.
I would say hugely significant, Beto.
Yeah, it's huge. One, the Dodgers are going with the bullpen game, right? That's a battle right there. So you don't know what you got like. And then you got to figure out Freddie Freeman, his availability. I mean, he's hampered. A healthier Freddie makes that play and makes that throw yesterday. But he's hampered where he's at. An ankle injury, that's the hardest thing to do when you're out there playing the field and swinging, right? You're in so much pain, right?
Yeah.
We'll be done, let alone trying to play in the playoffs. So for him not to go, and Freddie's a tough dude. He's hopped up on whatever they gave him, all kinds of treatment that he needed to get through yesterday's game. So to play today, to even try it, he's just not going to go. So the Dodgers said an hour ago, they submitted their lineup. Freeman was in there. He was going to bat third. Kike was going to be in center. Now it's Kike is going to be at third base.
Okay.
Chris Taylor is going to be your center fielder batting 9. And Edman is your shortstop. So Miguel Rojas was dealing with the adductor issue. He left the game yesterday. So Edman, who was in center to start the game, is now going to short, the pride of La Jolla Country Day.
That's
nice.
right.
Well, look, I mean, here's my thing, is that I don't need to talk about what I think about Chris Taylor playing center field. That's a whole other story. But you miss Freddie's glove and his play in the field as much as you miss the bat. And that's why this is tough, because once you move it over, okay, that's fine. You've got the funky monkey at the plate. But Freeman at first base is a major factor, Beto, as far as I'm concerned, in how that infield, which, as we saw last night, not always the cleanest, works.
Absolutely. Now you have a hobbled Dodgers lineup, already was, limited pitching, so it's really adamant for the Padres, if they want to advance, take care of business today. Yeah. There's no excuse for the Padres not to win the day. You have your healthy guys, and Dylan Cease is healthier than any Dodger bullpen arm right now. So the Padres need to take care of the business.
But I will say it from the other side, which is this. This is the kind of stuff that gets you really nervous because, honestly, getting to the Dodgers starting pitching, that's sort of expected. Mm-hmm. The bullpen has been outstanding, and it's not like the Padres have done a lot of damage against the bullpen. I mean, I guess you might say in Game 2, but
that was an outlier, you could say.
Right. But I would also say this. Chris Taylor, I realize it's not been a good year for Chris Taylor, but he has, in years past, both in the outfield and with his bat, he has come up clutch in the postseason.
Yeah.
It
makes me nervous tonight, I will tell you that.
There's no way. One, Kaplan, you guys are the Vegas favorites coming into this series. You're the favorites tonight. You have, take away Joe Musgrove. It sucks that our good friend No Joe is out with Tommy John. But you have the better team right now. You have the healthier team. Why the heck would you be nervous?
Because of everything you just said.
Oh, my goodness.
And here's the thing, Beto.
Oh, my God.
You're
no longer the gutty little Padres. You're a team that spends money. You're a team that gets after it.
Beto is correct, Scott.
Right, but I will just say one thing.
Card.
But there are certain fan bases that have scars. And there are certain fan bases that have expectations.
Okay, if you had scars because you're like gutty and you have a team that shouldn't be here, you're a team that has superstars. You're a team that has guys that people are saying they could be the face of baseball in Tatis or Machado, right? You spent the money. You're not small market anymore. You're acting big market. Then you should take care of the Dodgers who don't have any bullets right now.
That's 2 Red Hot Chili Peppers references. Other side and scar tissue.
Right in the same exact conversation.
About that.
Well, scar tissue because I had to deal with the therapy today.
Beto, stand by. We're going to hit this break.
I got to go get some cupcakes, man. It was Stefan's birthday today. There's cupcakes back there.
Oh, really?
Hey, my show's at 6 o'clock, bro. I don't get paid overtime.
All right, well, that's fine.
I'll be here in a little bit.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Beto.
Radio Tinder is coming up next, but before we get there, I want to talk to everybody about real father's rights, and I'll just start it off by saying this. I've been willing to be forthright about my divorce. It's kind of embarrassing because when you're going through a divorce, you're like, oh my God, I'm worried about money. I'm worried about what's going to happen to my kids. I'm worried about what people are going to think about me. I mean, it doesn't feel good. And then you ultimately realize, you know what, life will get better for you. But here's what you need. You need a team behind you. And that's Mark Real and Real Father's Rights. They are here to help you get the justice that you really deserve. I mean, they specialize in father's rights. So Mark Real, R-E-E-L, like as in let's get real. He's an expert in navigating the family court system so that you get your happiness and you get your justice. It's real easy to visit Real Father's Rights. Go to Real, R-E-E-L, realfathersrights.com/710, realfathersrights.com/710. That's realfathersrights.com/710. Or here's a phone number, 323-870-1611. 323-870-1611. Guys, if you're going through it, if you think you're going to be going through it, or if you've already gone through it and you got more problems after the fact, you need to call Real Father's Rights, the Father's Rights attorneys.
Be sure to listen to Rams Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr every Monday in the 9 a.m. hour on his new show, The Travis and DeMarco Show. He's going to give you his best of from the whole football weekend. And you know, when DeMarco serves up a best of, you know it means something. Don't miss it. They've got their best of the weekend, plus your chance to win a Fantasy Springs Weekend Getaway prize pack with your best of. That's Mondays in the 9 a.m. hour on the Travis and DeMarco Show on 710 ESPN. Made possible by Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. Escape the everyday at Fantasy Springs Resort Casino, just minutes from Palm Springs.
Country's hottest rising star, Riley Green.
There was this girl
Live.
drinking her hand. Shoot me a lead.
Friday, October 18th, Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. Riley Green, live in concert. On sale now at FantasySpringsResort.com or call 760-342-5000. Riley Green, live.
One 877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Paid for by Cars for Kids.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
And it is Sedano and Kap. Around 5:30 p.m. in the Southland Radio Tinder time, we like to play a TV theme. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget about our sponsor, Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Take it away, producer Lindsay.
Yeah, producer Lindsay, take it away.
It has been taken away.
I'm letting the song play for a second. You know? Eddie Guerrero's birthday, R.I.P. Song.
Clinton Yates is in for Sedano. By the way, Clinton, are you watching what I'm watching? The Mets now have a 4-1 lead over Philadelphia.
The New York Mets are the hottest team in Major League Baseball, and that hasn't been close since the regular season ended. It started when they took the Braves on, and this guy right here, Frankie Lindor hit a bomb, top 9, in the first game of a doubleheader in order for them to clinch, and he casually ran around the bases as if that was just an expected manner. Ever since then, they've been locked in. Carlos Mendoza has done an incredible job as the manager of that squad this season, his first season as a big league manager.
Right. We'll get back to the baseball talk in a minute. But first, Radio Tinder time. So according to a new study from the NCAA, abuse by, quote, angry bettors is one of the most common types of harassment that college athletes receive, making up at least 12% of publicly posted social media abuse. So this study was conducted by a data science company called Signify Group, and they analyzed the social media accounts for more than 3,000 college athletes, approximately 500 coaches, 200 referees / officials, and 165 team accounts during the 2024 college football playoff, men's and women's basketball tournaments, men's and women's college World Series, and gymnastics championships. So they collected a whole lot of data on this. And like I said, the results showed that people are really, really mean and abusive towards athletes ever since, I guess, gambling has been legalized in many states. And so I wanted to ask you guys, since people, I also did see something about this recently. It was a Lamar Jackson who was going off on Twitter about people getting mad at him for not getting X amount of rushing yards on his fantasy team, and he was just like, look, all I care about is that we win. So I know that there's a big disconnect with fantasy, but now that betting has been legalized and you've got these people threatening and sending nasty messages to people, especially college athletes, online, do you guys think that this has any effect on like you or the bettors in general knowing this? Swipe left or swipe right?
I'm going to swipe left.
I still don't know the swipes.
Swiping left says it.
Yes or no?
No.
It's no.
That's a no. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a negative on this.
All right.
So you're if you're an angry bettor, like you don't care about this.
So wait, I'm not an angry bettor. I'm and I feel for these kids because so much has changed in college sports that now they're pros. And that's just it, man. I mean, you have an NIL deal.
We're a long way from the Pittsburgh Panthers, and you kicking in, a stadium nobody's in.
Right, and let me tell you something. Back then, if somebody who was an alum like actually gave you like $20, like you appreciated it, and it was against the rules, and you were in trouble. Now, with NIL money, with the transfer portal, with what is essentially college football free agency, and with more legalized gambling, people have this expectation that they're not young kids anymore. They're grown adults and they're professionals. So I understand why angry bettors are taking it out on the actual players.
I'm not sure which way I'm swiping, but I'm just going to talk now. So how much money did they spend on this study? Because I could have told you this without spending a single dime.
No study needed.
I could just point at every single person in this bar right now and ask them, are you angry at the person who lost you a bet?
Yeah.
It's like the foundation of this country. And we really need full studies to come to these kind of declarations. That's very, very surprising. Anyway.
Okay, well, that aside, I feel like it's something where you're putting this data out there to be like, hey, look at all the a-holes out there that are literally harassing college kids.
Yeah, it's not good.
Because they lost a bet. Like, I mean, can we take a step back and like reevaluate things and like maybe not do that?
Well, no, but here, listen, let's be real about this, Linz. You go to Vegas all the time. You see how these people act. You know what that looks like in real time. This is the part of doing business with gambling that you just have to deal with. And I'm not saying that these kids deserve it. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm going to act surprised that I've got to study, like, come on. This is half of the entire proceedings of how this works, and it's quite frankly sad on some level.
I would just tell you that when I was in college and I was playing ball and things didn't go our way, there would be angry fans, but they didn't really have a way to get to you.
Get booed, whoop-de-doo, and then it's over and done with.
They didn't tweet you, they didn't Instagram you, they didn't Facebook you, they didn't TikTok you, they didn't LinkedIn you, they didn't do anything, right? So back then, they were angry that you lost the game, but they didn't have a way to get to you. Very rarely was it, you lost me money on a bet.
Sure.
Because back then, nobody was betting in comparison to the way they are today.
Yeah, and if you had somebody that was doing that, they were likely an ankle breaker that might have gotten played by Joe Pesci in a movie later down the line.
I mean, they're like doxing kids, like you have people putting their where they work, their address and stuff like that, just like putting all their info out there, like, yeah, go after this person because they missed a field goal and I lost my $100. And it's just like, I feel like if you have that level of anger inside of you for losing a bet, then maybe you should like maybe you shouldn't be gambling. Maybe you have a
I
problem.
Yeah. I would also argue that is a bigger problem than just a simple matter of wagering on sports, but I hear you.
Yeah.
Maybe you should call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Perhaps.
They probably
saying.
should. All right,
Lindsay.
one more here really quickly. I saw this TikTok the other day that caught my eye, and it was a newlywed couple that was sharing some of the best parts of their wedding day. And what stuck out to me was the part that showed their guests, they were putting their phones in those lock pouches at the door, and she wrote the caption, POV, setting boundaries for a no-photo wedding made it the best ever. So would you guys ever consider doing a phone-free wedding for your guests? Swipe left or swipe right?
I'm going to swipe right. And the reason why is not necessarily one of, vanity, but I know that, dude, some people are obnoxious. Some people will stand in an aisle with a big A iPad right there when you've paid thousands of dollars to a whole A wedding photographer. And it's like, yo, if y'all can't behave yourselves, we've got to make rules for you. That's the only circumstance under which this is cool. Otherwise, it's like, if people can't have their phones out, why are you even having a function at all? But I do understand both sides of this, Scott.
I love to take lots of pictures at a wedding. And then
you're the guy. It's you.
And the reason I like to take all those pictures is because then I like to share them with the bride and the groom. Hey, the professional photographers took these pictures, but here's my vantage point. Here's my POV. So then I send them to them, and they're like, oh, okay, well, that came from you. Oh, look at this video. He happened to get this particular angle. We didn't have that. So I like that. Although I will tell you this real quick, Clinton. This past weekend, I was up in Vegas, and I went to a restaurant called Delilah's. Had never been there before.
Hey there, Delilah.
And it was in the Wynn, and they told you when you walked in, you cannot take any pictures. And I was like, why? What's up? And they're like, we don't want anybody who doesn't pay to get in here to know what's going on in here. And I was like, that sounds like people are doing some bad stuff in here.
Love that.
Yeah,
Love that.
And so one of the people at the other table that we were with, they kind of didn't abide by the rules, and security came flying over, like, hey, no, can't take pictures
Is
in
this
here.
an ejection situation?
No ejection, deletion.
Oh.
No ejection,
Make sure
deletion.
You delete it off your phone.
Wow.
Delete it off your phone.
Let me
Let
see your
me watch you
passcode.
delete this off your phone. How about
and then
that?
empty your trash can.
How about that?
I really
That's
quick
weird.
about the wedding thing though. I thought of it more as I didn't even think of what you guys were saying. I was thinking more of they wanted people to not be on their phones the whole time because they want them to enjoy the moment and stuff like that. That's what I thought she was
Liz,
going
get
with
real.
it.
All right, weddings are for pictures. It is literally why the institution exists.
Sure, but to your point,
2024.
but again, to your point, if you have an expensive photographer, any photographer there, not people got
You don't want old
videographers.
Uncle Arturo in the aisle with his iPad taking video, putting it on Facebook Live, telling Auntie M that, hey, guess what? Look who's here. Anyway, sorry. That's what happens. That's why people do that.
Well, there you go. That's Radio Tinder. Radio Tinder is presented by Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Award-winning small batch premium sipping tequila made from the finest mature agaves, available wherever fine tequilas are sold. Or visit tequilamandala.com and up your game and demand the extraordinary with Tequila Mandala. Okay. Clinton Yates, we have come to downtown San Diego.
Bro, we are in the building.
We have chased the National League Divisional Series. We have chased the Padres and the Dodgers, and we know the situation tonight. Let me throw something by you because, Young D, I've got some prize picks here, don't I?
That's right.
So I'm looking at prize picks tonight, and I'm going to ask you. You tell me.
All right, you want a little.
Cappy, you ain't ready for no prize picks.
Well, you know what, Beto, I could use your advice too.
Oh, I was actually looking at it right now, man.
Beto, what's going on?
Oh, I'm looking at one right now. Cappy, what do you got?
Dígame, Beto, you go first.
All right, Kike Hernandez.
Yep.
Nobody's been talking about him. I like him. Total bases, 0.5.
Oh, I love that.
Will he get on base is the question.
Yeah, he's going to get on. He always finds one way to get something
I
annoying
think so.
going on.
I think you got to take the over on that.
Yeah.
I mean, he can draw a walk every once in a while. That's a man.
Okay, so you're playing
Hold
total
on.
bases.
Kike
I'm going-
Hernandez pressed into action, getting 0.5 total bases.
Total bases
Not
for Kike.
good for the Dodgers
But-
in that regard.
But a lot of these plays on prize picks are like half a hit.
Yeah, I
Like
get it.
will this person get more or not?
Right.
It's simple, CY. Just stay with it,
I'm
baby.
just saying, if that's even in question, that's the trouble for the Dodgers.
Here's how I'm going to play it, Beto. I'm going to play Kike Hernandez for more than half of a hit run or an RBI.
Oh, I like that one. Okay.
So you're a little side parlay, a little interior parlay, if you will.
Right. So what about Dylan Cease tonight? Last time out, he wasn't great. I'm thinking, his more or less number for pitcher strikeouts is 4.5. I'm looking back at his last 5 starts, 5-4-5. He did have a 10 strikeout performance in early September, and then 4. So you tell me, Beto, more or less than 4.5 strikeouts for Dylan Cease?
I'm going to go less. The reason why is the Dodgers have seen him so much this season, and you're going to have a team that's going to be aggressive. They're going to try to get the bat on the ball. And because they've seen Cease so often, they know his tendencies, so you're not going to have any guys looking at the plate.
I'm going to use the exact same data to come to a different conclusion. Free-swinging Dodgers team that needs base runners is going to be going after it. And
CY, we're trying to make a play together, man.
Yeah, we're trying to build a card here.
Listen, that's fine. Get him
out of here, bro.
Build
Get him
away.
out of here.
Build away. I just don't want the listeners to be led astray.
Beto, here's what I'm playing tonight.
What you got, Kappy? Let's go.
Ohtani for more than half of a home run. In other words, I think Ohtani hits a home run tonight. I think Ohtani is pitched to. He's been so bad the last 2 games. And I say so bad by Ohtani standards, being held hitless. I think Ohtani tonight, and it's a demon play on Prize Picks.
I saw it.
Which means now I've got 3 plays. I'm going to play $20 to win $90. And I've got Kike Hernandez to have more than half a hit run in an RBI, Dylan Cease for less than 4.5 strikeouts, and Ohtani to hit a home run tonight. Download the Prize Picks app. Use our code Kappy, Kappy. When you make a $5 play, they're going to give you a $50 bonus whether you win or you lose. It doesn't matter. So download Prize Picks. Use the code Kappy, Kappy. You make a $5 play, you get that $50 bonus. Let's play together. Let's win together, and let's do it on Prize Picks.
Hey, it's Travis.
And DeMarco.
Hey, accidents can be shocking, devastating, and difficult to deal with, which is why you should...
Hey, football fans, there is nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. But Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with the chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. Head over to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket Sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Please celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
Sonoma County, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Hey, it's Mace. There's a lot on the line in this election, from protecting the Social Security you've earned to supporting family caregivers. And you have the power to make the candidates listen, because voters 50 and over decide elections. That's why AARP California has created an election guide with the most up-to-date information about when, where, and how to vote. Get trusted election information at aarp.org/CA votes. That's aarp.org/CA votes. Paid for by AARP.
Hey guys, it's Cap, and if you're looking to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage. They'll make you a great cash offer with no need for repairs. They buy it as is. With Seller's Advantage, there are no agents. They can close within days, and they buy with cash. They'll even offer a $10,000 advance to help with moving costs and other expenses. Check out their reviews online and call for a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, and visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations, because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Walks around like a little puppy dog
on 710 ESPN.
Yeah.
You need a better go-to than just yeah whenever you hear like a hip-hop based song.
What about
You can go with like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need some ad-libs. We need to work on the ad-libs.
So
as we say on the internet, I'm holding your hand while I say this.
Wait, real quick, Kappy.
We need another one. We need a secondary one.
Yeah.
Since we're very baseball Dodgers heavy today, I just want to sneak in a quick little football thing here. Since we're playing Sierra, she's married to Russell Wilson. I'm seeing all these rumors now that, like, there's potential turmoil or questions within the Steelers organization that has them thinking that Russell Wilson might be starting either next week or the following week. Like, what's up with that?
Oh, what's up with that?
Justin Fields is doing pretty
What's
good.
up with that?
It's like, what's up with that Wednesday? Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah. What's up with
What
that?
up with that?
Yeah.
What up with that?
Matriculation. Ding, 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 ding. That, by the way, quickly, forget the Steelers. That's the best sketch in the history of Saturday Night Live.
What's up with
Do
that?
not
top 5.
argue with me about this.
Although I will just say one
Top
thing.
1.
I will just say this. Watching Big Papi last night on Fox and thinking about Keenan Thompson, what's up with that?
I said speculation.
Okay.
And then you think about Keenan Thompson as Big Papi. Have you seen him do Big
Let's
Papi?
play a clip. I grabbed one.
Mofongo? Of course I've seen
Mofongo.
it. Stop it.
You want the chicken Mofongo?
Of course I know Mofongo.
After all the DJs, if I had to pick the one thing, I'd probably say lunch.
You'll miss lunch.
Yeah, that's right, man. Big stadium got a big lunch. Did you ever eat at the Yankee Stadium, yours? Yeah. Man, they got mofongo. Pechuga frita. Sopa de spaghetti. Y horchata con jamón. It's like a sweet, milky ham drink.
It's like not that far off.
Because
That's so funny.
I've been watching Papi at night after these games.
Can we talk about his hair, please, and his beard?
Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. Next time I get my hair colored, and it's coming here in the next couple of days, I'm getting it colored exactly like Big Papi.
You think that you people can pull off Papi's level of swag just because you sign up for the same hairdresser?
Wait,
no
you think
way in the world.
Do you think, Clinton, that he pulls it off?
How many Dominicans do you know in your life?
Tatis?
Not many. Right. This is garden variety Dominican stuff. Let me tell you something. I was at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama this summer playing a celebrity all-star softball game. This dude was at the field in 100-degree heat in shorts with the same hair. This dude is Dominican all day long. It ain't changing for nobody.
Que lo
We
que?
love
Que lo
Papi.
que?
His beard,
for life.
his beard looks like it's made of glitter because it's so shiny. And his eyebrows kind of look like this. I mean, this has evolved over the past couple of years.
This is true.
Know?
It has evolved. He's that playoff Papi right now.
Yeah. He's got like the jack-o'-lantern, like very, very, very shaped and colored in eyebrows that are like really pointy.
Contoured? Is that the word I'm looking for? Is that
Contoured.
for
Yeah, that's
contoured.
right. Hey, you want to check this out, Kappy? There's Kevin Garnett on his podcast telling stories about trying to drink with Papi when they were in their primes in Boston. Let's just say that KG was like, nah, bro, tap out. Like the next level. Papi's like that. He's a real. He's a real
for
one.
another network.
He is a real
the
one.
Stories I know about Papi.
Oh, yeah, you too? Hey, Papi.
Yeah.
Hey,
Listen, trust me.
Mofongo.
And I'm not just saying that in general.
Wait, have you ever had mofongo with him?
No, I've had
comment.
mofongo. But the thing is, the mofongo's a Puerto Rican dish, and he just.
You've never had leche de jamón?
Look at this guy.
Mofongo.
You've never had that? Leche de majón. Is it like a creamy ham drink?
Moving right along. Papi, I could see, by the way, showing up at the party that is moving in here now at Gaslamp Tavern. For those who don't know, we are downstairs. There's a sorority party happening upstairs right now. Beto, if you're watching on YouTube, this door does not go to that party. but, it could eventually.
What are those bobbleheads you brought out, Kappy?
Well, I didn't bring them. Tommy brought them.
Oh, jeez.
And Tommy probably emptied out his promotional closet like I would do.
Was it Tommy or the puppet?
No.
The puppet was not here.
Lil Kappy was not in the house.
Lil Kappy had
Lil Kappy was not here.
It's not a puppet, man.
After school camp.
Yeah, it's not a puppet.
Yeah,
It's not a puppet, man.
It's an insulting phrase, you know.
You didn't correct me.
He's
All right,
my
so who is it?
offspring.
Who is that, Bob Uecker?
No, it's not Bob Uecker.
We can't tell
So
him
this is Hanley Ramirez, who we've forgotten about.
Okay, because in the YouTube chat, it's hard to see the video. So, so it's Hanley Ramirez.
I'm bobbling the head.
Hanley Ramirez. And then he's got a Ryan Klesko bobblehead, which was, I think people remember Ryan Klesko from the Braves, but he did play left field for the Padres.
Yeah, and it's got the goat and the sideburns that are very Klesko-esque.
Well, they're sort of very like Beverly Hills 90210, Brandon Walsh-esque.
Yeah. Ryan Klesko, Orange County finest. You know that, right?
Did not know that.
Westminster High, home of the Lions.
How about that?
Nice.
Yeah.
And then the older gentleman there is not, who did you say?
Bob Uecker?
Not Bob Uecker.
No.
That is Jerry
Coleman.
No way. Hang a star on that one.
The Colonel, Jerry Coleman.
Beautiful.
I don't know if you must know who that is.
Of
but
course.
I mean, the
legendary
stories
Padre announcer.
Well, but not just that.
World War II.
But he was also a guy that played, for the Yankees and left the Yankees to go to, I want to say, the Korean War because he was a fighter pilot. And kind of missed a lot of his, prime of his career.
Sure.
As a result, and he's a legend. You know,
things that happened a lot back in those days.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's hit the top of the hour because I think we must reset the news of the day.
Of course.
Kappy, let me correct it for Jerry Coleman out of respect for that man. Marine Corps pilot in World War II and Korea.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hall of Famer with the Ford Frick Award.
2 stints, if you will.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
He was actually an amazing guy. I mean, I knew him for a very long time, but and I say a long time, I think he died. He was call it 90, and I probably knew him from 75 to 90.
Sure.
Yeah.
But he was a legendary guy. He actually at one time also left the broadcast booth to go down and manage the Padres.
like the kid from left field?
That's awesome.
Probably so. All right, listen, we got to come back and we got to reset the top story because breaking news happened while we were on the air about the Dodgers, their lineup, and Freddie Freeman's availability. We'll get to all of that coming up as we're getting set now for 30 minutes commercial-free next.
Marco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
Have you ever eaten a 7-Eleven hot dog before midnight?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
ESPN LA and Beverly Hills Ortho are teaming up because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. Could be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, or you could nominate yourself. You could win prizes like sweet tickets, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, or the grand prize, Invisalign. Enter now at ESPNLA.com, and remember, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Ortho.
For kids, donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title? No problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Paid for by Cars for Kids.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California.
It's 5 p.m. in the Southland.
Turn it up, man.
Time to blow that 5 o'clock whistle with Sedano and Kappy.
That's right, it's the 5 o'clock hour on Sedano and Kap. And it's time for 30 minutes nonstop.
Sedano and Kap on 710 ESPN.
With fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks, and Kappy doing his thing. Thanks to our friends at Real Father's Rights. Real Father's Rights, the father's rights attorney. Visit realfathersrights.com or call 951-482-7517. Let's do it, 5 o'clock in the Southland.
30 minutes of nonstop Sedano and Kap starts now.
You ready for this?
And time for the Real Father's Rights 5 o'clock hour on 710 ESPN. Let's do it, Jack.
Yeah. Beep, da da bop. Yeah. Beep, da da bop.
The beer's cold, y'all.
Beep, da da da.
Sorority party upstairs.
Doo, dee, da bop.
They're bringing tires in.
Beep, doo doo doo.
I don't know the theme.
Doom, beep, da bop.
But the DJ's here.
Doom, doo, da, beep. Hey, I'll tell you this right now. Clinton Yates is in for Sedano.
What up, kiddos?
We have moved the whole operation from downtown LA to downtown San Diego. The streets are alive tonight for the Padres and the Dodgers, Game 4 of the series. And what's going to happen? Are we headed back to LA for Game 5 on Friday, or does it come to an end here tonight? Clinton, I think we'll get to Sean Cody and we'll talk some USC Penn State in a couple of minutes, and we are going to go commercial-free for 30 minutes.
Yep.
But the story that is the breaking news of the day, as a Dodger fan, you're either going to be stoked and think, hey, listen, we're switching things up, we're bringing in new bodies, we're moving people all around, or you're thinking, we're in big trouble tonight. What do you think?
Well, here's the problem, is that with Freddie Freeman out, late scratch, that's an important element to this. He was named in the initial lineup. Apparently something happened in between then and when they had to make an adjustment, and he's out at first base. You make the adjustment, you move Max Muncy over to first. Chris Taylor goes to center field, and Kike moves to third. I don't love that because it indicates that anytime you wake up and what happens by game time is different than what you thought was going to be the case when you woke up, I don't love that. I don't care what the team is. I don't care what the position is. I don't care who the player is. That does not bode well. But the other reason is this. Freddie Freeman is an extremely important player on this baseball team, both on the field and at the plate. Not having him is a literal presence missing. This isn't just some other player that you think, okay, we can. Freddie Freeman is not replaceable. That's not a thing. That's why you have him. And so for me, especially in this position, that's tough. You know, this game went from supreme gut check for the Dodgers to, for lack of a better term, ultimate gut check, even though it was already an elimination game, already on the road against a team that, well, 2 years ago already eliminated you. The hill got steeper, Scott. That's how I feel.
Don't forget one other thing to add to all of that. In a game where you're pitching your bullpen, because the truth of the matter is this is not some choice on a Sunday where in the regular season you're like, hey, let's throw out a bullpen game. This is because you don't have options
right
in your starting pitching staff. So you've got a bullpen day with your pitchers. You've got one of your true leaders and probably your third best player no longer available, and that means your third baseman moves to first. By the way, your center fielder already had to move to short because we're not talking about Miguel Rojas,
right?
Who, listen, I know a lot of people on social media were blaming Miguel Rojas for the entire loss last night because of the lack of the play at second base. To me, he's hurt, and everybody knew he was hurt going in.
He second-guessed himself a little bit, and maybe tries to overcompensate a little bit,
and maybe is a tenth of a second slower than he would be. Not that he's some speedster in the first place,
right?
But still, I mean, choosing to not throw the ball or just pitch the ball to second base, flip it
is the word. Yeah.
Yes, rather than try and step on it on your own and make the play. People are blaming him, but
that's baseball.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for him, too, because in the moment, it kind of looked obvious. But, that's why we're not all on Major League Baseball fields playing shortstop, is that you get that ball. He was just close enough to think, this is a play I have to make. The instinct, you're right, Scott, was there. The play wasn't. And when your body lets you down before your mind does, man, that's tough. I cannot imagine what it's like being Ricky Rojas today thinking, man, I'm sitting today because of what happened. If that guy gets a pinch hit at bat, I think he's going to actually do something.
Rojas has actually kind of had a bit of a rough day.
Yeah.
Because not only did he have the play last night that most fans are kind of blaming him, but there were also photographs that were surfacing on social media of him out last night playing cards till whatever time it was at a local casino.
C.J. Abrams?
Former
Padres sidebar?
Right. So, it's like people, the guy is like, hey, game ended. I got to, cool down for a little while. I need to chill. There's a casino 7 minutes south of here, 7 Mile Casino, and what happened is he was sitting there at a blackjack table or poker table or whatever, and people started taking pictures of him. And once people started taking pictures, dude, they started to surface on social media.
Yeah.
And
For
by the
real?
way, and I don't even know if they're right or wrong. You never really know. But it certainly looks like him sitting there.
No, it looks bad, and he's at a small casino, Cappy. I saw the same thing because they were all over Twitter. It's like, you know what? You want people to get mad, but you're like, they were attacking him on his Instagram also, and he was writing back to people about how he's like, look, nobody feels worse than I am and stuff like that.
Hold on, Beto, that's real? Those replies were really him?
Because if you go to his IG now, the comment section, or on a picture, the comments are off now. So,
oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it was real. But even then, though, hey, look, at the end of the day, when you have a bad day at work, you go blow off some steam somewhere, right? Like the guy, I get
go
it.
straight to the YouTube chat.
Yeah, exactly. You're not. Look, you got to do something, and nobody feels worse than him. And that's a dude who wears his heart and soul on his sleeve. He comes out, he plays hard. He's just a great guy, but he messed up. He made a mistake, and it happened to him. Remember a couple years ago, there was a play where ball went through his legs. That could have been a bigger play. You know, it just nobody feels worse than the athlete. So if you're gonna go live your life, let him, bro.
No, I feel that. I just don't love I don't love. It's not even about the responses, Scott. It's about the fact that, man, that's the headspace you're in. You're popping off, cracking back at people online. Like, that's really tough. And it speaks to the larger context here of the Dodgers have it's felt for a while like they've just kind of lost the psychological battle on some level between what happened in the crowd at Dodger Stadium, between Dave talking about Machado throwing balls in the dugout. You're like, are we serious? I thought there was baseball to be played here. There just seems to be a lot of things happening around this team that do not, for lack of a better term, bode well for winning a series.
Guess what I'm trying to say, though, regarding Freddie Freeman is that you take Freddie Freeman out and you lose your first baseman and you lose your number 3 hitter, and then you move Max Muncy, who's fine. I mean, he can easily go from third to first, but he's not going to replace Freddie Freeman's defense. I mean, Max Muncy's still a serviceable player, but he doesn't have anywhere near the sort of versatility, flexibility. Right, exactly. And listen, Freddie's been limited, obviously, but still. And that's maybe why he made the throw that he made last night from his knees. I mean, if his ankle were good, he might have popped up and made that throw and not thrown it from his knees. But when you move your third baseman to first base and you lose your first baseman and you lose your starting shortstop, so now you move your center fielder into short and you start moving pieces all around, it's not one guy's replacing a guy. It's 3 or 4 different pieces all moving around, and it just doesn't feel, from a Dodger perspective, it doesn't feel like this is going to be their night.
It doesn't feel like it's the best lineup you have, and that's been the case for so many weeks, Beto, so many months, where it's like, can we see the best team that the Dodgers 40-man has to offer? I just don't think the answer has been yes for months in that situation, which is why I'm a little worried about it.
And by the way, if it wasn't the best for months, and it wasn't, right, how did they do what they did?
Yeah.
The Dodgers still had the best record. They still won the division. And listen, and it got to 2 games. Remember, there was a point where when San Diego turned the triple play in Dodger Stadium, they were only 2 games back. And then the Dodgers smacked them down for the next 2 games, and that was it. It was over. So how did they do all of this, given all of their injury issues all season long?
Doesn't count the same, bro. Beto, you know what I'm talking about. Octubre is different. It just is. And that's something that I think, look, I don't want to be that guy out here talking about calling for people's jobs. That's not how I am. But at some point, the Dodgers franchise has to ask and answer a question. Who do you want to be as a franchise? Are you going to continue to tell folks, well, winning championships is the lone standard? Are you going to continue to beat that drum and imply that anything less isn't good enough? Well, if that's the case, well, then what's Doc doing there? Because it doesn't matter why at a certain point. If there's going to be accountability, let there be accountability. And again, I think Doc is a fine manager. I think that the job he does maintaining the egos of superstars in that clubhouse is very difficult to emulate. That is simply a different job than winning in October, and it's not even necessarily up to the manager to do that. I am a roster construction guy, if you ask me what the main fault of this team is, because you can tell me about all the stars, you can tell me about all the stats. Well, what are you going to do? They got the best roster. They win an NL West every year. So what? And I think this is going to be one of those games where you've got to figure out, is the talent on this team with the skipper that you have really, in fact, what you want if you claim the championships are the only thing that matter?
Good rant.
Just saying. That's how I feel.
It's a really good rant.
Commercial-free block, you know.
You get to go long format.
I love it.
So, on the other hand, I wanted to say one other thing about this series that I've found very interesting. You know, coming into this series, the questions about Ohtani were these. He's had this monster season. He's done something that no one's ever done before in baseball history.
50-50.
And how will Ohtani be when the postseason comes? Because he's never been in the postseason for all those years because he was playing for the lousy Angels, right?
Right.
And as the season got to the end of the regular season, we started to see more emotion from Ohtani. And people were talking about it, too, you know.
Yeah.
Even the other night in Game 1 where he hit that bomb home run.
He let out a primal yell.
And threw his bat at the Padre dugout. You're seeing more emotion. Or he has a big hit, he stands on first base and he does that thing, you know, that the whole dance that everybody does.
We're doing it on the YouTube, by the
Yes,
way.
you're looking good, too.
We did it. I'm not so great at it. Obliques are tough for me.
Is that right?
Yeah, you know.
Last night when he got rung up looking, he had like a look of, you know, he wasn't going to argue it necessarily, but he looked pissed.
I'm going to my tweets, and I want you to read this tweet out loud. Never mind, I'll just read it out loud. I can remember it because I wrote it. I said, that's the worst I've seen Ohtani fooled on a take, perhaps in my life. He moved he traveled in the batter's box. And I was like, whoa, that was weird to me. And look, Ohtani, I'm not going to hold him to some insane standard just because of a 50-50 season. He's literally never played in the playoffs. And I get it. WBC is what it is. Trust me, we were there. I know what the intensity is like. It's not the Major League Baseball playoffs. There is still an open question as to whether or not what these guys do and this group translates at all. This idea that it's going to carry over, it's just a thing here or a thing there. At some point, you've got to be a little bit more real about what it is that you think is going to be a winning formula. And if after 3 seasons, and again, I don't want to presume a loss here, but I'm even going to go so far as to say that if they don't win the World Series, which is a reasonable standard per my understanding from Dodger fans, like, what are you doing? You know, what exactly is happening? It's tough to say.
But Ohtani was going to be, in this series and in these playoffs, he was going to be the difference from the Dodger teams of the past.
So I was told.
Right, versus, you know, this current Dodger team. And we've already documented all the injuries to starting pitching, and now Freeman and Rojas, et cetera, et cetera. But on the flip side, over on the Padres side, I don't know that anybody would have seen that Fernando Tatis would have had the postseason that he's already having.
I don't know,
I mean, he had only played in one postseason, and it was a couple of years ago. I want to say it may have even been
it was
the
2020.
COVID short.
He never played in a full one in front of fans, Scott, and that was something that he was asked about last night in the presser, and I remember his answer was simply like, yo, I like playing. And earlier in the day, Mike Schultz had said him alongside a bunch of other guys, they love playing baseball. I do think it was seeable, Scott. If Fernando Tatis Jr., a guy who loves playing in L.A., his dad said who hit 2 homers in the same inning in L.A., for goodness sakes, he was the guy that was going to explode for me. Now, I know the Padres have weapons, but that's not a big shocker as far as I'm concerned.
Guy's hitting .556 with 4 home runs, 7 RBIs. He hasn't struck out. He's been walked 3 times.
He should be coming up to plate with the Monster Mash as his at-bat song because that's what he's doing right now.
All right, we're in the middle of a 30-minute commercial-free block here on Sedano and Kap on 710 ESPN. Big game this weekend. You know, we're all focused on tonight and Padres-Dodgers, but I mean an absolutely season-saving opportunity now for USC this weekend at the Coliseum when number 4 Penn State comes to town. And here to have the discussion from the USC radio broadcast team, former USC All-American, former NFL great defensive lineman, Sean Cody returns to Sedano and Kap. Sean, what's going on today, man? How are you?
What's up, fellas?
How you doing, man?
How we doing, bro?
I'm doing good. Obviously getting ready for the big game this weekend and also the big game tonight with the Dodgers. So, you know, I got a little double duty tonight.
Hold on. You got a quick Dodgers take you want to lay on us before we get into the Trojan talk?
Oh, man, guys. I mean, yeah, this is it's tough, man. It's tough being a Dodger fan right now. We're riding a roller coaster, man, playing a hot Padres team. They seem like every single player that comes to bat for them is just everyone's able to hit. So it's just it's a tough lineup to go through. The pitching's been up and down. So, yeah, we're holding on to our seats here as Dodger fans.
And, I'll tell you, as much as Dodger fans were looking for Mookie Betts to finally break out, and he did last night, kind of, right? I mean, he did hit that home run, and he did get another hit. But the flip side of that was the Padre fans. They were waiting for Jake Cronenworth to finally get a hit because he had been hitless so far in the postseason. So it balanced out last night. Sean, you sitting in front of the TV tonight, kind of on pins and needles on this thing?
Oh yeah, buddy. I mean, me. I grew up in LA, big Dodger fan. Watch him as much as I can. But yeah, we got to get it going. Those bats got to go. And obviously, a big night last night in the sixth inning with Teoscar's grand slam. Other than that, the bats got to come to life.
Nice.
Yeah, they really did not. I mean, they just didn't hit. Mookie hit that solo home run. Teoscar hit the grand slam. And other than that, I mean, Freddie Freeman later got on base with the one time that they had when they pinch ran for him. But there really wasn't much going on last night.
Tweeted that after the grand slam, everybody from the Dodgers offense got on the bus to go to SeaWorld.
He also said that he's never seen a player with so much aura.
This is true.
As Teoscar Hernandez.
I thought we were here to talk football.
Well, we are here to talk football. We're going to talk football. But Sean Cody, listen, I love the fact that you're wrapped up in this Dodgers-Padres series.
Oh, man, I was a baseball player back in the day, so I fancy myself a little knowledge on the game. But those guys, yeah, got to get the bats going, man. Got to find some. This seems like the Padres are the hungrier, younger team right now. Dodgers seem a little bit like, okay, we're gonna get to this, and Padres are like, wait a second, we're gonna take it right now.
Yeah, that's right.
So Sean Cody is with us. We're going to talk some USC Penn State. But before we do, Sean, talk to us now that you've had, and I always like to start this way with you. You've had several days to digest what happened at Minnesota. What is your sort of overall analysis as to what did take place up there and losing? When you're ranked as high as SC was and you lose to an unranked opponent, what happened up there from your perspective?
Well, it just seems like to me a Trojan team that is trying to find its way, right? They're trying to find what they can do really well. I think the offense hasn't been able to really fully click. And I think, and that's in a large part between the offensive line has been struggling a little bit. Miller Moss feeling a lot of pressure. When the Lincoln Riley offense can only find a way to 17 points, something's not going right. They were pretty close to, putting some more points on the game, but it just seems like those little small plays on offense are really stopping them. Third down drops and, some fumbles, interceptions, like those kind of plays, like maybe in the Pac-12 where you have a lot more possession, those plays don't matter as much, but it seems like in the Big Ten, every possession counts. And when you're having those kind of critical errors on offensive drives, just not being able to capitalize or score some points on the board, these Big Ten teams have been figuring a way out how to slow the Trojan offense down.
That's a real issue, though, Cody, not having an offensive identity. You're USC. That's the entire point of being a blue blood. I guess my point is here, what do they do well? Whether it's on the defensive side of the ball or the offensive side of the ball, that actually somebody can have a kernel of hope in.
Yeah, I think if you could look at any positives from that game, the run game for USC got going. It looked like a real strong point. Woody Marks behind that offensive line looked really comfortable running to get the ball. Now, part of that's because, that's what Minnesota was just trying to drop back in that too deep shell and kind of not let them have any big plays. So they were willing to give up some in the run game, but they took advantage of that. So that's something that was positive. And I think defensively, up until this last game, playing really well in the second half. Now, credit to Minnesota for figuring out how to kind of solve that Danton Lynn puzzle in the second half because he's been playing really well in the second half. Minnesota was able to put some points in that second half, really able to run the ball well, I thought, on the Trojan defense and pretty been stout in the run. So just a kind of a game that you let really squander it away kind of. And, fans really wanted that one, and it's going to be a tough one. Now you got to come back home, figure out how to put it back together and face, maybe a top two team in the Big Ten.
Talking to Sean Cody from the USC radio broadcast as heard here on 710. And this weekend, it's Penn State, number 4 Penn State coming into town. Sean, I guess if at the beginning of the season we'd had a conversation and you said, what do you expect from USC as they move into this conference? Is it different than what we've seen with the loss at Michigan and the loss at Minnesota?
No, I think the tempo of play has really affected the Trojans. I think it's a lot different, in the Big Ten. It just seems like I talked about it, just limiting possessions. You don't get a chance to get the ball that many times. They're going to slow the game down. They're going to try not to give you up explosive plays. So the Trojans have to be they make you execute on a high level. And right now the Trojan offense just a little bit off, having dotted the I's and crossed the T's on offense. So you're seeing that not enough drives are ending in the end zone. And then on defense, it's kind of been bend but don't break and doing a good job. You just got to have some more plays. I think need to be made both sides of the ball. Just not enough big time plays. There need to be some players out there stepping up, taking over a pass rush, taking over a big fit, setting a big hit on defense. And then on offense, no really explosive plays to like, who's our explosive guy? We thought Zachariah Branch going into the season was going to be that guy, kind of off to a slow start, figuring out kind of our pieces, young guys. So it's who's going to make those plays in the big moments, offensively, defensively. Just don't think they have those guys yet, and they got to figure it out quick.
So I don't know what we should or could have learned last week from Penn State's win over UCLA, 27-11. You may have watched the film by now. I only saw parts of it on TV. The week before, they beat Illinois, who was ranked 19 at the time. But again, it was a 21-7 win. Prior to that, they're kind of beating up on MAC teams. And they did start the season off with a nice win at West Virginia. So, Sean Cody, you tell us, what is USC up against this week when Penn State comes to town?
Yeah, more classic Big Ten. This is a talented James Franklin, obviously a talented coach with a solid group of players. Nothing really spectacular or flashy from this team. It's close possession games. You mentioned the close score. Illinois last week against UCLA didn't really. I don't think they opened up the playbook a bunch, but just kind of kept it pretty standard issue just to maybe get enough to close that one off. Led by Drew Aller, their quarterback, a good guy who can run their whole offense, and I think he's maybe a little bit taking it for granted of what he does for that offense, because he does make sure that thing is running on time. Singleton, their back, a talented back who can get it done. I think the thing that most Trojan fans are worried about are this talented defensive line that Penn State's going against. They got some guys that can rush, and the Achilles heel for the Trojans so far this season has been struggling to protect Miller Moss, and they're going to have to keep two guys really at bay, and Abdul Carter and Danny Dennis Sutton, who are talented edge guys who have created already a ton of pressure and sacks for the team this year, and the Trojans are going to have their hands full trying to slow those two down.
To that point, where do you think morale is with this program right now? We mentioned what happens going into the Big Ten and what that may mean from a tempo or whatever standpoint, but wins and losses are a very real thing for the Trojans. How do you feel that people feel about where the program is?
No, I think if you're a player on this team, I don't think your morale should be high. You can, there's a lot of things you can point to on this team, but they were in these games. Obviously, you got to try to beat a Minnesota team. That's kind of a mid-tier team in the Big Ten. Kind of looks bad, but it's still a one-score game. There's probably 4 or 5 plays in that game that change it. You steal that win out of there, even though you didn't play your best, and then you lost against Michigan. A team that last year won the national championship and obviously didn't have a good game against Washington, but you were able last couple minutes lost that one. So if I'm on the team, I'm more pissed off than anything, right? If I'm a player right now, I'm upset. We let 2 squeak to our hands. Should have possibility to be 4-1, 5-0 going into this Penn State game. We let 2 slip away. Let's really show what this country what we're about, playing a big game on a big stage against Penn State.
And last week, Sean, there were so many massive upsets in college football.
Huge week.
Alabama getting beaten by Vanderbilt.
Threw goalposts in a river.
Oh, dude, it was unbelievable. To watch the kids at Vanderbilt take down those goalposts and then walk through the streets of Nashville.
Unreal.
That was awesome.
I need a full 30 for 30 on that sidebar.
There were I want to say, including USC, there were 5 teams in the top 11 that were knocked off last week. So as much as I thought USC was going to go last week to Minnesota and win that game handily, wrong, obviously. And now, as much as I would think on paper Penn State was going to come out and beat up on USC at the Coliseum, with the college football is as unpredictable as the NFL, I don't know, maybe USC wins this game.
Yeah, road games are tough, guys. I mean, you're talking about, guys between 18, 21, 22 years old, still figuring out, these travel schedules when you're crossing 2 time zones. It's a little bit different than, going to Arizona or going to Washington. It's a quicker trip. You kind of know the schedule. Here, we've been taking off on some of these planes at 6 in the morning on a Friday, trying to get your head right by Saturday during the day. So I just think a lot of that is just getting used to the travel of what the Big Ten is. And you look across the country, and there's, I think the record is any team that's travel more than 2 time zones, like 2-8 or something on the road. So it hasn't looked good for anybody traveling. And I just think it has to come down to the maturity of your team. Do you have a team that can, lock into what they got to get done, no matter what's going on, all the kind. I mean, you see NFL teams do it all the time. Those are mature guys who it's a part of the business, but these young guys struggle a little bit trying to figure out their road routines, I think.
Sean Cody is here. And, Sean, before we say goodbye, let's talk a little pizza pie.
Hey.
See the way
when the moon hits
your eye like a big pizza pie.
It's the morning.
Amore.
Well done.
Yeah, very nice. What is going to be our pizza pie of the week from the Pie Trap.
From the Pie Trap this week, guys, we got our new monthly specials kicking off October. It's called the Fiendin', like the old Jodeci song. Remember that? You guys recall that old Jodeci song, Fiendin', man, because this pizza gets you fiending right away. Pepperoni, sausage, ricotta, basil on top. That's the pizza of the month, the Fiendin' Pizza by the old Jodeci R&B group. What a great group, guys.
I love the fact that all the pizzas have some connection to some song.
That video.
We try to keep it R&B, hip hop out here in Covina.
There's a bunch of brothers in the desert with a piano. It's hilarious.
Their piano just happened to have been there, by the way.
No, they were dragging it through the desert.
Oh, brothers
in the
brought it.
video. They needed it. Required.
Not a lot of shirts too back then. They didn't have a lot of shirts going on.
Not at all.
All right, Sean. Hey, appreciate you, man, and we will talk to you next week. And hey, listen, let's see if the guys can fight on.
There you go. Yeah, let's get a win for the Trojans and get a win for the Dodgers tonight, guys. Let's go.
All right, Sean Cody wants the Dodgers, hoping for USC, and ready for a little bit of pizza pie. All right, nice work.
I mean, look, quickly, I think the Trojans are probably about where most people who were reasonable thought they would be. Adjusting to a new conference, got a big win early, still trying to figure out who you are after a Heisman Trophy winner leaves.
I think that we all kind of got caught up after they beat LSU because most people didn't think they beat LSU.
One of those people.
So was I, which is why, okay, listen, they had Michigan beat. They had them beat. Michigan couldn't throw the ball, and then eventually they just ran him into the ground. When I looked at Minnesota's resume last week, they weren't ranked. They didn't have any really overly impressive wins. They had lost to North Carolina, who had gotten 70 put up on them against James Madison. All of those things told me that USC is going to go to Minnesota and win. And, little do you know that Minnesota plays Big Ten football. USC is learning to play Big Ten football.
They ready to vote.
All right. Hey, everybody, let's talk about...
Kappy,
yeah?
A lot of pressure on you now.
Why is that?
Oh, because the Mets just eliminated the Phillies.
Oh,
that
there
means,
it is on my screen. Frankie Lindor is talking.
Yeah.
Phillies were my World Series pick.
That means
what do I know?
Yeah, but if the Padres win the series, don't they get home field advantage?
You would be right.
Ooh, Kappy, there's a lot of pressure on your Padres tonight.
Well,
oh man,
but Clinton, you said earlier. The Padres were the best team in baseball in the second half of the season.
Yeah,
but the Mets have been the best team. I guess
the postseason.
But you have home field advantage, Kappy. Don't be making no excuses now.
By the way, home field advantage.
Beto,
they're putting it in the air downtown.
Right, Beto, I can't believe it. So you've already given up on the Dodgers, Beto?
No, I'm just playing advocate to you, Kappy, because you're over there cheerleading like no other.
I believe that you represent many Dodger fans
who
have already sadly quit on their team, and it's embarrassing.
Calm down. First of all, people just like Sleep, I root for nobody. I'm just going on you, Kappy, because I watched the Kappy cast this morning. I was creeping, baby.
Wow.
Oh, you talk
you
about
accountable.
Oh my goodness, that's what's in all day long.
That's what's in.
Can I just say, I do not think that skunks are native to downtown San Diego, but somebody is putting it in the air right now. I said that earlier. It smells flavorful outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I know. Oh, that's kind of skunk.
Yes, that
Take a break,
okay.
CY.
No, I'm good.
Me and
right
Marcus
here.
got the rest of the show.
That kind of skunk. Hey, by the way, in the meantime, I got to tell you something. Bernard Thompson just brought me a Tito's and soda with lime. Dude, this must be a triple Tito's. Seriously. I like my Tito's. But, Bernard, this has got to be a triple, quadruple Tito's, right? I took one sip of that thing and went, whoa.
What up, Bernard?
Yeah. Hey, Bernard, Young D says, what up? Says he loves his Pumas. And Miss Molly, everybody's saying hello to you, Miss Molly. Of course, naturally. Hey, let me talk to everybody about Avner Gadd here for just a quick second. I've talked about this a lot here recently. It doesn't have to just be a massive flood in your house. It could be, unfortunately, a fire. It could be a burglary. It could be a variety of things. A big tree behind your house falls and goes through your roof, and all of a sudden your whole house is screwed up. You have a homeowner's insurance claim, and you need to talk to your homeowner's insurance company. But as you know, the insurance adjuster, his or her job is to show up and go, hey, look, we're going to give you like $20,000 to fix all of this. And you're like, geez, it doesn't seem like quite enough. And you don't know what you're doing, man. You are not an expert in negotiating with a homeowner's insurance company. But you see, Avner Gadd and his team, that's the important part, and his team, they are experts in negotiating with homeowners insurance companies. They got 20-plus years of experience. They've got a full team of people that used to work for the insurance companies. They used to work for law firms. They know what they're doing. And by the way, they've got all the relationships with these insurance companies, and that's an important part of it all, too. So listen, I say it all the time. Nobody, and I mean nobody, messes with Avner Gatt and his team. When you've got a problem and you need it solved and you don't want to deal with your homeowner's insurance company, you have Avner Gatt deal with them, and he goes out and he gets you what you deserve. Here's his phone number, 818-917-5256. By the way, if you call him, it was his birthday this past Sunday. Wish him a happy birthday. 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256. Look at his website. You can learn about his team. You can learn about all the different things that you might need him for. AvnerGatt.com, AVNERGAT, AvnerGatt.com. You call, he answers the phone. You'll know it's him when you hear him say famously, hello.
Hey guys, it's Kappy. You've heard me talk about my personal situation with my divorce and subsequent custody battle in the past, and I know that you need a team behind you to get the justice you deserve. My friend Mark Reel and his team at Real Fathers Rights are here to help you guys. Visit realfathersrights.com/710. That's REEL, realfathersrights.com/710, or call 323-870-1611. That's 323-870-1611. Real Fathers Rights, the Father's Rights Attorneys.
710 ESPN, the destination for LA sports this fall.
Here comes LeBron and slam dunk right in Paul George's face and a foul.
Lakers basketball.
Got it back. Another three. Good. What a night for Austin Reeves.
Rams football.
Cup of the 6. Cup to the pylon. Touchdown, Cooper Kupp. Touchdown, LA.
The USC Trojans.
Hands off the marks. Up the middle. Into the end zone. Touchdown. They're going wild in half of this stadium as the Trojans are going to pull off the upset. How do you do?
LAFC.
Oh, flip for LA Football Club. Did he?
The LA Kings and Angels baseball.
The all-new ESPN LA app, your destination for LA sports.
Did you know your zip code can determine your health? In some neighborhoods, fresh produce is scarce, while others have farmers markets on every corner. Some areas have plenty of doctors, while others face long waits for basic care. Rising costs hit some communities harder than others. While some struggle with skyrocketing rents, others can't afford life-saving medications. But here's the thing. Your vote can change this. When you vote, you're not just filling out a ballot. You're fighting for better healthcare access in your neighborhood. You're standing up against inflation that's pricing families out of their homes. You're demanding affordable healthcare for all. Your zip code shouldn't determine your health. Your vote should. Vote by mail, use a ballot drop box, or visit a voting center in person. Remember, in this election, we're not just voting for candidates. We're voting for our health, the health of our families, and the health of our community. Want to know more? Visit myvotemyhealth.org for all information you need to vote for a healthier tomorrow.
Come to Carden Alleyway Hyundai and lease a new 2025 Hyundai Elantra SEL for only $201 a month plus tax for 36 months. Or get 1.99% APR for 60 months, your choice. Plus, get peace of mind driving with America's best warranty. Carden Alleyway Hyundai just off the 91 freeway or CardenAlleyWayHyundai.com.
Lease for $201 plus tax. License and fee to well-qualified buyers. 36-month lease, 10K miles per year, 3511 due at signing. 1.99% APR, $1,752 per $1,000 financed. Not all buyers will qualify. Subject to HMF credit approval. Expires 10/31/2024.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN. It's 6:30 p.m. Big deal or no deal. Take it away, Sedano.
Okay, well, no Sedano today, but Clinton Yates, the big CY, is in for Sedano.
What up, kiddos?
Oh, my God. So, my man...
A lot happening here right now.
We came to a place, Clinton and I'm giving you all the credit, by the way.
Thank you.
It was all your idea.
Thanks.
To say, let's find a place to do a broadcast in downtown San Diego for the Padres and the Dodgers.
And here we are.
And here we are, right outside Petco Park, right in the Gaslamp Quarter at the Gaslamp Tavern. And big shout out to my friend Rick Borba, who's the owner of this place.
Love
who's
Rick.
got amazing food, great beers. He's been doing a happy hour from 3 to 6 for us today with $2 off draft beers and cocktails and wine and appetizers. And how's the food here, Clinton?
The food here is tremendous. I had the lemon pepper wings. Those were strong. They're not overdoing it on the sauce. It's not making you messy in case you're wearing your fly, I don't know, white Dodgers or Padres jersey. And the sliders are good too, sir.
And the Mets have advanced to the National League Championship Series.
Killing me.
And as Beto just said, if you're the Dodgers, you got to win this game tonight. Obviously, you got to win Friday night. You've got home field advantage. If you're the Padres, little did you know as a wild card,
you got a shot
that you would have a shot at home field advantage should the Padres win tonight. Let's go back to downtown L.A. Lindsay Baseball is ready for Big Deal or No Deal.
All right, Kappy, Clinton, only have time for one quick one here for Big Deal or No Deal.
All right.
So, I've been seeing ads everywhere for like the past 2 weeks for Amazon's October Prime Day, which I guess it's Amazon's big deal days, if you're being official. And apparently today is the last day of this. So they say that like Prime deals can save you up to 70% off your favorite brands like Apple, Dyson, Ninja, and more. It's one of these things where it's just like, anytime I open like Prime, I'm watching Prime on my, on my smart TV at home. Even like when I'm Googling stuff, I'm seeing ads for this. I've always been one of those people who thinks that Prime Day is just like a gimmick where they just raise the prices and then make you think that you're saving money. So I want to ask you guys, is Prime Day for you a big deal or no deal? Kappy, you go first.
Okay, so last Prime Day, not the one that we're currently in, but the most previous one to this, Prime Day was a really big deal for me because we bought everything that my daughter needed to go for her freshman year.
I was just about to say, college is begging for Prime Day.
Yeah, so everything that she needed to be a freshman at Cal Poly SLO, from sheets to comforter to pillows, and I mean everything to organize a dorm room, everything to decorate a dorm room, all of her school supplies. Last time there was an Amazon Prime Day, super big deal. This particular time, no deal at all, because without kids in my house, I don't buy anything.
I was going to say, you probably ran out of money, Spent a lot. College is expensive. And they were saying, Kappy, that nowadays, especially like females, they spend like something like $2,000 per year just on furnishing their dorm rooms alone. And, this is a tiny little box or half of a box where you're basically just buying like, comforter, some wall coverings, pillows, and maybe like a chair or something. And people are spending that much money on decorating their dorms. That's crazy.
Just by the way, you're right. Thankfully, she's got 2 roommates, so everybody kind of chipped in. But what's going on in this Royals-Yankees
Sorry,
game
the ball
here?
got by in right field at Kauffman Stadium with Juan Soto, and that turned into a triple from what I can see here, and the Royals are in business. Opa, that cannot happen, bro.
Oh, Soto lays out and completely whiffs.
But it was kind of a bad layout. He wasn't going to get to that ball, and it got past him. That was a foolish play, if you're asking me.
And then Judge backed him up. And, yeah, it was thing about Juan Soto, I watched him for the last 2 years.
Not the best in the field.
And he put up numbers at the end of the year. You said, oh, my gosh, look at the numbers he put up. But they weren't certainly impactful. Not here
could
last
not
year.
buy a catch on Amazon Prime today.
Even though it's 70% off?
I mean, apparently.
Nicely done, Clinton Yates.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
That was terrible.
Come on, Lindsay Baseball. Can't we have one more?
That was terrible. I have not bought anything on Amazon Prime in a long time, but I did buy something same-day delivery the other day, and that was like a cool feeling. Like I woke up in the morning, I was like, oh, I need this. And it came at like 2 o'clock. It was awesome.
I do love the same-day delivery.
That is a different beast.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Baseball, come on. Give us
one
one
more really quick.
All right.
So I also saw this thing on TikTok. I've been like looking on TikTok a lot for, ideas for Big Deal or No Deal and Radio
Content.
Tinder, and it's gold for these type of things. So I guess there's like a generational texting habit that totally gives away your age, and Gen Z is super irritated by it. It's called the quote-unquote boomer ellipses. You guys know about this?
No. I'm
Okay.
not familiar.
So, multiple dots in a row, like
Yeah, I
suspension
know what an
points.
ellipsis
I know
is,
you know,
but
I know.
yeah.
So I guess the thinking behind this is like Gen Z says that old people or boomers use these ellipses to unintentionally make things like more ominous, but they like are anxiety inducing, and they just think like it needs to stop, saying like this is insane at best. So do you guys find yourself people who use these quote unquote boomer ellipses? Because I will admit that I do it all the time.
Wait, what are you using ellipses for?
I don't even know what ellipses are.
3 dots in a row.
Oh, I use them all the time.
I use it when I'm trying to say I don't care about this. Why did you tell me? When like somebody hits me with something, I just hit ... As in, no
I
thanks.
mean like in the middle of sentences, I break things up with the ... unnecessarily all the time.
Wait a second. I didn't know that the 3 dots were called ellipses.
Yes.
I had no idea that those were called
That is what
ellipses.
they were called.
I use them all the damn time.
You should name a pet ellipses now that you know
Yeah,
that.
right. I literally use them all the time.
Yeah, that's what they are. Well, okay. This is a big deal for the reasons that I think that Gen Z doesn't understand that ellipses are not that dramatic because they don't read books. That's what it comes down to. Ellipses are all over the place. I read a story the other day about how college kids go to college these days and literally cannot handle the idea of reading an entire book. That blew me down. It was very tough. I don't know about your kid, Scott, but reading
Old Man
books-
Yates is here. Old Man Yates.
Sorry, God forbid that reading a book is something that we value in society today.
We
in an
believe
election
in that.
year.
No.
Don't get me started. I'm only half
wow.
joking.
Old man.
Ellipses are from old school books and literature. That's
Well,
what they
ellipses
are.
is starting for the Colts this weekend. That's what I know.
Oh, is that right? You got him on your fantasy team? It's QB1.
By the way, as Kansas City is battling against the New York Yankees, they just showed Patrick Mahomes.
He's at the yard?
Yeah, he's there in a suite, and I don't know who it was that was wearing Yankee gear, but Mahomes was like
bad
all up in his
move.
grill.
Oh, no. You know Pat Mahomes' dad pitched for the Mets, right?
I knew he was a pitcher. I didn't know that for the Mets.
When Bobby Valentine got caught in the dugout wearing a mustache and glasses as a what's it called? As a disguise.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes was on the mound.
I had no idea.
That's a fact.
And
You
he
know who
owns
told
a
me
piece
that?
of the
Pat
Royals.
Mahomes told me that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the owner of the Royals.
Oh, that's right.
Is Pat? I know he's got a piece of something. It's the Royals. He's got a
No,
piece
he
of.
owns. He's a piece of the women's soccer team.
Yeah.
That
I
too.
believe. I believe.
He's doing everything.
Yeah.
He's going to buy everything, bro.
Yeah.
Well, he should buy everything. And by the way, he's going to have a new contract soon. He'll make $70 million a year, I'm sure.
Insane.
All right, let's do this. Let's hit this break. Let's come on right back. Let's give some final predictions. Beto's in the studio, so I want to hear what he thinks
And
too.
Marcus,
little-
Grant, and
A
Marcus.
little mini crosstalk, if you
Yes,
will.
right. And let's see what everybody thinks is ultimately going to happen here tonight between the Dodgers and the Padres. Dealer's Choice is coming up next on Sedano and Kap. Oh, and before we get there, let me talk about Seller's Advantage. Sorry, guys, I really couldn't hear you. There's like the music in the background. It went from like a Van Halen mix to now it's into a what is this?
I don't know. OldWhiteGuySong.com.
No, it is.
Insert entry here. I know the song. I know
so
the
do I.
lyrics.
I can't believe I can't come up with who it is. Yeah, it's Bruce Springsteen. Glory Days. There we go.
I don't know what this is about.
It's the
Never
boss.
will.
It's Bruce Springsteen. Hey, let me tell you about
Great.
Seller's Advantage. If you are looking to sell your home for a variety of reasons, whatever it may be, it's up to you, man. Your kids are moved out. You're ready to downsize. Your parents left you a house. You don't want to pay the property taxes. I get that. You're ready to sell that thing too. Or, hey, listen, you're like, hey, I'm retiring. I'm leaving the state of California. I'm going someplace else. Or maybe, hey, I just want to move to a new neighborhood or a different part of Southern California. Whatever your reason is for selling your home, Seller's Advantage has the solution for your needs. And that solution is really simple. They will make you a competitive cash offer so that you don't have to make any repairs and you can close in days. There is no complicated closing process. There is no concern that contracts are going to fall through. They go and they look at the comps, and then they say, okay, what is your house worth? What, will you take it? Will you take this cash? We're going to pay you in cash. You don't have to put any money into it. We're going to pay you in cash. So here's what I would suggest you do. Get a no-obligation offer right now by calling them at 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, and you can use their website, sellersadvantage.com, DRE number 01961658.
Hey kids, Uncle Artie here from Pernia Law, here to tell you about a newer sponsorship deal with Matt Barnes, who has deep LA roots, former Bruin and pro basketball player for both LA teams.
If you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law. And there's never any upfront fees. They collect when you collect. And for the record, their win-loss record puts them in the top of the standings. That's 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
Hey, it's Mace. There's a lot on the line in this election, from protecting the Social Security you've earned to supporting family caregivers. And you have the power to make the candidates listen, because voters 50 and over decide elections. That's why AARP California has created an election guide with the most up-to-date information about when, where, and how to vote. Get trusted election information at aarp.org/CA votes. That's aarp.org/CA votes. Paid for by AARP.
Are you looking to stay up to date on all Lakers news during preseason? Make sure you've signed up for Lakers emails to keep you in the loop. Lakers pregame emails provide the latest game day information and projected starters. With Lakers weekly emails, get electric game highlights and exclusive Lakers promotions straight to your inbox. Sign up now at Lakers.com/emails. That's Lakers.com/emails. Let's go, Lakers.
Hey guys, it's producer Lindsay. Listen up, sports fans. Gear up for your next game day hang with your friends. What's on the menu? Sliders, wings, chips, and salsa? Well, all your favorite game day foods go great with Stella Rosa wines, a semi-sweet and semi-sparkling wine that must be served chilled. Stella Rosa can be found at your local retailer, so remember to grab a couple bottles next time you shop. Nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. Please celebrate responsibly.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield, and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
That is our final segment, music. Clinton Yates has been in today for Sedano.
What's up, kiddos?
Beto Duran has been in studio in downtown LA.
In and out, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll just hang out. Kappy, I love heel Kappy. Fantastic. Kappy just went into the YouTube chat, by the way, where Funchy is just dropping the hammer on folks right now. And I don't really care about the post, whatever,
I'm sure there's a lot
I don't
of
know what it means. So,
intellectually stimulating conversation going on.
But we don't need your negativity towards the YouTube chat, all right?
I said I'm sure there is a lot of intellectually stimulating conversation going on.
Yeah, we get it.
Am I wrong? Is that not what normally happens there?
We get it. You're on TV. We get it. You're like you're a baseball reporter. We get that. We already know that. That's what you do. You go to press conferences and you talk to players. We heard you. But this is the heel Kappy right here.
Hi, guys.
Well, you guys are not mad at me for rooting for the Padres. You are, letter R, mad at the Padres are now dangerous. You guys should have some faith in your team. Heel Kappy comes out at the end of the show, right?
Wait, heel Kappy is different than just regular Kappy? I thought that was just him.
No, he could have done that at 3 o'clock and started the entire show right there. Kappy, people aren't mad at you for being a Padre fan, and they're not mad at the Padres for being good because real baseball fans and real Dodger fans know that the Padres are constructed well, that they're a talented team, and they know that they're again, real baseball fans know this. But, Kappy, the problem that LA fans have with you is that you hide your Padre fandom until October. Just
I didn't hide my Padre. I didn't hide my Padre fandom
this is the
year.
YouTube chat? He's literally wearing a shirt.
Here's what happened.
Until today,
here's what happened.
All year long is
here's what
cited
happened.
and Kappy Cat
Let me
stuff.
tell you what happened. So here's what happened. 2 years ago,
here we go.
I did not love this team, and last year I hated this team. And I told everybody I hated this team. This year, I, like so many other people in this town, have fallen in love with this team because they actually care about each other. You can feel the difference, the camaraderie, the teamwork.
Right.
Whereas last year, total individuals, total guys playing for their own contracts, etc. So I have just said to everybody, and this is 2 years ago, where he's like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're a Padre fan. I'm like, well, I've been in San Diego 23 years.
And you're supposed to be.
Right. But I've told everybody this year, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I am all in. And George has been giving me a hard time for weeks because he's like, this video on the internet of you saying how much you love this team. Yes, I do. Yeah. I love this team. Now,
there it
but
is.
You,
now,
but
Beto.
But you don't say that on this station.
I've said it a million times on this
Here's
station.
what you say. I love this team.
Whisper. The pitter patter.
Price picks. Abner Gatt. I love this team.
Much louder about other things. Fair enough. That said, Marcus, what do you think you're going to see tonight from the Dodgers team? You know, I know you guys talk about this on Blue Review all the time. What are you looking for?
I actually think the Dodgers are going to, at least offensively, I think they're going to come alive tonight. The fact that the last couple times they've seen Cease, they figured out how to get to him a little bit, and now he's working on short rest. I think that sort of works in their advantage. The question becomes, can they get enough quality innings out of their guys? Going with Brazier as the opener, following with Landon Knack. Can they get enough quality innings to keep the Padres down? And so far, it just seems like it's one or two big innings that San Diego has buried them with. Right. As long as they can keep this offense, look, if they can hold the Padres to, I think, 4 runs or less, I think they win the game tonight.
Well, I'll tell you this, and Beto, you know, things I learned at a press conference.
Because you're a reporter.
Yesterday, what Schultz said was, when he came in, the first question was, who's pitching next? And he sort of made a laugh, and he said, oh, wow, great game. How about that? Like, sort of joking, like, really we're moving on that quickly. And he said, Cease is getting the ball because he wants to do it. And that, to me, is an indication in the postseason that I don't know, man. I think this is going to be tough for this Dodgers team. When guys are ready to grab the ball and go to the bump against you, nobody's afraid of you. Nobody's been afraid of this Dodgers team in the postseason for a couple of seasons now. I don't think it bodes well for the Blue.
Yeah,
I really don't.
CY, you've been around.
Yeah.
3 days rest.
Yeah.
First time in your career.
3 days rest versus what you get on the back end, it could happen.
Which I think makes the first couple innings, I think, really important. If the Dodgers can get to him in the first couple of innings, which I think is important anyway, they've got to try to score first. But if they can knock him around and put him into some high-stress situations in the first 2 innings, then it becomes a different game.
Okay, let me just ask Young D. DeAndre, who's going to win the game tonight, Dodgers or Padres?
You don't even know who's playing.
Oh, here we go.
You know nothing about no baseball.
The Yankees are playing the Royals right now.
Give me the Dodgers.
Oh, look at you. Play to your audience. There you go. You learned.
This is Dealer's Choice, and it's The Real Deal, brought to you by Seller's Advantage. You want to sell your house? Before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. They're going to buy it with an as-is competitive cash offer. No repairs needed. Make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer, or visit sellersadvantage.com. DRE number 01961658. Lindsay, baseball, who's going to win tonight?
No, you can say it loud. That's a good
that's
call.
fine.
That's
Say
a good
it
call.
loud. Clinton?
That's what's in.
Do you think that's what's in, Clinton?
I think the Padres are going to end the series tonight. I do.
Okay, Beto?
Padres should end it tonight because all the pressure's on them because they have everything lined up. Everything is there. You're going against a bullpen game. You're going with no Freddie Freeman. They're hurt. They're battled. They're got to take care of business. Don't wilt and become small market now. You got to show. And Kappy, did you book your flight to New York?
I have not yet booked my flights to New York yet. No.
Okay.
Also, Miss Molly is wearing the old school Padres colors, so that's what I'm betting on.
And you know what? And right now, with 3 minutes to go till the first pitch, I mean, theoretically, till
Kappy,
first pitch.
you go to the game?
We're trying to buy tickets right now.
You're not buying. Get in there.
Well, you know,
Tell him I'm Scott Kaplan.
You know, I just walked.
Yeah,
but
you
I'm
reporter.
But I'm looking to do it. We're seeing if we can buy tickets right here at the last minute. Great job, everybody. We love you. We appreciate.